Barnett Ellis.
So there's that.
And Dr. MacGyver from
and
the
Dr.
COI.
MacGyver. Well, she has put her hat in the race before.
Yes.
Now, Freetown is also quite interesting. You have independents, Dr. Minnis leading that list of independents who are doing amazing things and look quite impressive. Freetown has a number of independents as well. Andrew Blue Johnson,
yes,
who's been making noise, making his presence felt
also
out there.
wanted to be the representative for the Free National Movement.
For the Free National Movement at one point. Of course, he was denied that opportunity, and so he went full steam ahead and decided he's going to go independent, and he's not let up since.
Right. Well, for me, Shanique, my seat to watch, the Fox Hill constituency.
Oh, yes, oh gosh.
Very interested to see what happens between Fred Mitchell and also Dr. Fox, yes, down in Fox Hill. Also interested to see what will happen in Bamboo Town. How will Bamboo Town shape up in this next general election? But Shanique, already the motorcades are on the road. We have some video coming in with candidates and their motorcades, and it looks almost as if there's a competition to see who can pull the most supporters.
The biggest, absolutely.
The party colors on full display from New Providence, Grand Bahama, all over.
This is not our first rodeo in elections, right?
Fifth so we know. For me,
I know, right? Perhaps the same for me. And so the thing is, Janaea, today is also about flexing your muscles.
While we flex that muscle, Shanique, we do have a team on the road.
Fantastic.
We have Rebecca Bain. She is in Fox Hill at the Sandilands Primary School, where nominations are expected to take place. Rebecca?
Good morning, Janaea. From the Fox Hill constituency, nomination day is fully underway, and I can tell you the atmosphere out here is absolutely vibrant this morning. Members of the Progressive Liberal Party, the Free National Movement, and the Coalition of Independents have already started to make their way down to Sandilands primary this morning so their candidates can be officially ratified. I do want you to take a look behind me. We can see a number of supporters are lined up. PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell has already made his way into the nomination center to officially be recognized as a nominee for the 2026 general election. And speaking of that election that is coming up, the remainder candidates for this area is Dr. Nicholas Fox for the Free National Movement, and we also have Robert Barbie Brown, who is also for the Coalition of Independents. But we will see who will be the next MP on May 12th, and that's going to be determined by some of the residents in the area. And I do have Ms. Thompson with me, who is a resident of the Fox Hill constituency. And Ms. Thompson, can you tell me a bit about what are you expecting from your next member of parliament?
I am expecting that he continue to do what he has already started in the community, and he is doing an excellent job. And I will tell the people of Fox Hill to choose progress. And the numbers shows out here this morning, numbers don't lie, where we headed today on May 12th.
And are you certain, are you positive that Mr. Fred Mitchell will be getting the seat for the second time? And what are some issues you're hoping he address in this next term if he does win?
Oh, I lie.
Well, Janaea, you have heard it. Some of these residents are expecting PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell to return to his seat come May 12. And for the residents here in the Fox Hill constituency, they still have a few mixed views about the other members, but that's something we'll just have to hear at a later time. But for right now, I'm Rebecca Bain. I'm standing in front of Sandilands primary, where we are expecting the remainder of the candidates to head over to Sandilands primary to be officially nominated for the 2026 general election to be a potential MP for the Fox Hill constituency. I'm Rebecca Bain, sending it back to you at the desk, Janaea.
Thanks so much, Rebecca Bain, live in Fox Hill tonight. And let me tell you something about live TV. It just doesn't get any better than that.
Just right then, oh, you're live. And that was it. That was it.
All right, we do have our Danielle Dean. She's sitting in Long Island. She has some commentary about what's shaping up in Long Island. Do we have Danielle ready? Not yet, but we spoke earlier this week with the parliamentary commissioner to break down what to expect today. Our Danielle Dean has that story.
Gearing up to go to nomination centers across 10 islands for nomination day Thursday, April 16th. This as the May 12th general election closes in and candidates campaign to win the favor of the masses. Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson details how both candidates and the public can expect the nomination process to unfold.
On nomination day, every constituency will have a nomination center set up, where all aspirants for the House of Assembly will come with their nomination papers, that have their assets and all the information with their assets on it, their declaration, and $400 in Bahamian currency. And every candidate must have at least 5 signatures of the persons in that constituency to register him or her to be duly nominated for the House of Assembly.
It's expected that each of the 41 constituencies will have at least 3 contenders, inclusive of PLP, FNM, and third-party COI candidates show up for nomination. And a complement of 41 centres will be active on Thursday between 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. The parliamentary commissioner highlighted there are no exceptions for candidates who do not meet the precise timeline allotted.
If they miss the 12 o'clock deadline, that's it. No, and that's why we would encourage them to make sure that their papers are all straight, and that when they come in, they have everything organized and everything is in accordance with the law. Any eligible Bahamian could come in with their duly authorized papers. All the papers have to be signed by the JP. The papers that need to be signed by JP have to be signed by a Justice of the Peace or Notary Public, and they bring in those papers. You don't have to be known in advance. You could come in just 5 minutes to 12, and if you have everything in place, you'll be nominated to run in the next election.
Similarly to Election Day, most schools in the respective constituencies will be used as nomination centres. And he assured there have been precautionary measures put in place to ensure safety and a smooth run of show.
At the centers, we will have the Bahamas Royal Bahamas Police Force there for security reasons. And we invite and we encourage the nominees. We know that some comes with junk new music, some come with all bands, some come with all kinds of things. But within the Senate itself, you allow them with so many persons to come in with you. Now, the presiding officer, the returning officer at that time, will allow so many people in the room itself. It depends on the size of the room.
The department encourages the public to support their candidates in decency and order, and to allow candidates to go through the process without interruption. Danielle Dean, Eyewitness News.
Thanks so much, our Danielle Dean reporting there. Shanique, some interesting things that Harrison Thompson talked about. He talked about the fact that if I decided at 11:55, I would like to nominate. Just need to get my papers in order, have them sealed and stamped, and also have my $400, carry them on in, and it doesn't matter if I'm not affiliated with a party. I've done no campaigning, I've not been on the road, I've done no door knocking, I've not done any street work, but I have decided today that, hey, I want to nominate.
You know,
I'm certainly able to do so.
You're able to do so
my right.
as long as it's before midday, and that shows it's a true testament to our democracy and the fact that, listen, anyone, if you feel yourself, you have a message, a vision, something you want to help in an area, a constituency, you too can put your hat in the race.
We carrying you to the parliamentary registration before we come off air. Shanique for office, everyone. She's asking for your vote. Well, major motorcades are already underway across New Providence and also in some islands. Candidates there expected to arrive with some of their supporters. We've already been seeing that, those party colors on full display. New Providence, Grand Bahama, the Family Islands, they are turning out early. We heard some persons were up from as early as 6 a.m. at those centers, as some parties look to send a clear message and also to show that they are building momentum. Well, nomination day, as we know, it's not just about the paperwork. It's about the presence and who can mobilize, who can organize, and who can show that they have some real support on the ground. And when we talk about support, we do have our Linton Ritchie Jr. He is in Grand Bahama with the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard. Linton?
Good morning, Janea, coming to you live from Grand Bahama now. Eyewitness News just touched down in Grand Bahama less than an hour ago. We made our way directly here to the Marco City FNM headquarters. Now, if you take a look directly behind me, Free National Movement supporters, specifically those of the leader of the opposition, Mr. Michael Pintard, they are dressed in their red and they are prepared to march down to the Belinda Wilson Center, where Mr. Pintard is expected to nominate. Now, directly behind me, the Progressive Liberal Party motorcade is actually passing through Mr. Eddie Wan. that is, they are heading down to the convention center. So, of course, you know, the political temperature is heating up here on the ground on nomination day for 2026. Now, I do have standing by Mr. Michael Pintard's campaign manager. He will make his way over here in just a second to speak with us. But, of course, Shania, at this time, I can tell you that the leader of the opposition is inside of his nomination headquarters. He is gearing up to walk out and make his way down to the nomination center. We heard moments before we went up on this live feed that he is signing off on his final documents, and he's preparing for what he hopes to be a successful nomination for the second time in a row. Now, of course, Mr. Culmer, he is here live with me. Mr. Culmer, thank you so much for joining us live here today. Talk to me about what is the F&M's hopes today for nomination day?
We just want to go in and get our leader nominated. This is the first step towards him becoming the next Prime Minister of the Bahamas.
And just now we saw the Progressive Liberal Party motorcade pass by Mr. Eddie Wan. We know that they have talked all the time about hoping to take this seat and flip it to gold. This is Mr. Pintard's hoping to be his third consecutive term in Marco City. What do you think about the political temperature on the ground?
Well, to be honest with you, the last person to win this back-to-back was David Thompson. So that says a lot. Mr. Pintard has put work on this ground from 2015. He has been there from day one and he's there now. And we know we're going to be victorious.
Yes, sir. And after this, what's next? The campaign team will continue on the ground. Things are heating up.
Well, today is actually the start of it. The real start. The bell is rung. After they nominate is official. And we'll be on the ground. We haven't stopped from 2015. The persons in Marco City know us. When we knock to their door, they're like, hey, happy to see you guys again. They know us. This is Marco City. This is F&M country. Marco City is the heartbeat for Grand Bahama. Grand Bahama is the heartbeat of the Free National Movement. And once we win Marco City, we're going to win Grand Bahama and we're going to win the government.
Thank you so much, Mr. Culmer, for those words. Janae, you just heard from Mr. Pintard's campaign manager, Mr. Culmer, who made it clear that they are not letting up. Today is the start to the race to the polls on May 12th. And as you heard him said, they will be on the ground more than ever after nomination day. Now, of course, this nomination day in Grand Bahama comes off the heels of both the Progressive Liberal Party and a Free National Movement rally just days ago, where both parties came to Grand Bahama and they were hoping to, of course, secure the electorate here in Grand Bahama. But of course, we'll be on the ground all day long. From Marco City, we're hoping to make our way to the Pine Ridge constituency, and then of course we have East Grand Bahama, Central Grand Bahama, and West Grand Bahama. But as you can see behind me, party supporters are lining up. They are preparing to take to the streets with Mr. Pintard. There will be a motorcade, there will be a band playing, and once we get there, we're hoping to bring you live coverage, of course, once again from Grand Bahama. But stay tuned to us all day long. We'll be here on the ground bringing you the latest updates, reporting live from the Marco City Free National Movement headquarters. I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, our Linton Ritchie Jr. In a very interesting constituency, Marco City, also Island. A lot has been said about Grand Bahama during its election season. A lot of promises, a lot of deliverables that have had to happen for the nation's second city. And so everyone has their eyes on Grand Bahama, but more specifically, what will happen with the leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard. Well, we are going to Long Island as our live coverage continues. Our Danielle Dean is standing by on another seat to watch. Danielle?
Well, yes, that's right, Janaea. I'm here at the Family Island Administrator's office here in Clarencetown, Long Island. And what I can definitely tell you off the jump is that we definitely don't have as much activity as we had over on New Providence in the Fox Hill constituency, as well as there in Marco City with Linton. But we are waiting for some of the candidates to arrive. We have Dr. Andre Rollins, who pulled in not more than 10 minutes ago. And we do have an independent candidate who we will be talking to in a moment. But we know that the PLP contender, Runika Nold, is coming all the way from the northern end of the island. She's expected to have some fanfare here today. So we will be waiting for her arrival. We do have the Coalition of Independents candidate, Shura Pratt. She assured us that, you know, she's not going to be having that fanfare, but she will be showing up and just doing what is necessary today. We do have Natasha Turnquest. Natasha is an adjunct professor at the University of the Bahamas in political science. And we actually had the opportunity to talk to her at the Stella Maris airport on our way in on Tuesday. We had a pretty lengthy conversation, and Ms. Turnquest here was telling us that she thinks she's the underdog, but she definitely doesn't have the big promises. She definitely doesn't have the resources that the other parties may have, but she says she has a heart for the island that she's called home for a very long time. Ms. Turnquest, can you talk to us a little bit about your plans today, how you're feeling this nomination day?
Thank you, Ms. Dean. Well, I really want to talk about myself. I think, we have to really decide, are we going to choose leaders who are real and who are going to be real with the people who they wish to govern? So I think it's about trust and it's about honesty. And I'm a person who was brought up to tell the truth, no matter what the consequences. And my parents, my father, Addison Turnquest, and my mother, Shirley Darville Turnquest, lived that every day. And my parents, especially my father, paid the price for truth. He was the FNM's candidate in 1982. He was the first priest, the first religious leader to offer himself up for an election, and he paid the price for that. So I understand the sacrifices because we sacrificed a lot. He was suspended for a year. So we lived 5 people on a primary school teacher salary. So we paid the price for truth. So I am here to speak the truth. And the truth is that we need to not fight one another, but we need to fight for each other. So I'm going to fight for everyone. I'm going to fight for the people in the up south. I'm going to fight for the people down north, and I'm going to fight for what I think is right. And I think people want someone who is going to tell them the hard truth and not the soft lie.
Well,
so my students have inspired me. They've inspired me. I have been teaching for over 20 years, and they have inspired me to practice what I teach. So I teach about power, and so I'm trying to connect the constituents to power. So one of the things I want to do is to have the constituents help to make decisions.
Well, wonderful. Ms. Turnquest, we know that Long Island is considered an F&M stronghold. That makes the nomination day as well as the general election to come on May 12th very interesting. Everybody is waiting in anticipation to see how things will unfold, if the island will go PLP, F&M, maybe even coalition, or with an independent candidate like Ms. Turnquest. But everyone is going to have an opportunity. Those who are interested in contending the seat will have an opportunity, like you said, Janaea, up until 12 p.m. today. So we do not know who else may end up coming. It could be 10, it could be the 4 that we've mentioned already, but we definitely will be keeping you updated here from Clarence Town, Long Island. Sending it back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, our Danielle Dean. She is in Long Island, as you saw. Independents now emerging to contest that seat. We know that there have also been a lot of deliverables in Long Island government talking about some of the things that they've done on that island and wanting to be able to flip that seat. But I do think we have another one of our team members ready in the Pinewood constituency. I do believe we have our Laurentia Smith standing by, Janelle Longley, rather, standing by live tonight. Janelle?
Good morning, Janaea.
School, where 4 Charlotte prospective candidates are expected to nominate today. Things are still a little quiet, but just as you were bringing me up, the Coalition of Independents candidate Daphne Johnson has just headed in to nominate for this constituency. Now, Daphne, she was in the last general election in 2021. Against Alfred Sears, who is now the incumbent and Minister of Immigration, and also Jermico Archer from the Free National Movement. Last election, Daphne took away 154 votes. So this election is going to be interesting to see if the Coalition of Independents has gained any momentum. But we're also expecting the Progressive Liberal Party candidate for Fort Charlotte, Sebastian, in a few. We left his motorcade coming this way. And also the Free National Movement expected to nominates Travis Robinson for this seat as well. It's going to be an interesting race. We know that last election, the register closed at about 4,900 voters, and only about 3,000 and some voted in the last general election. Alfred Sears taking away about 63% of the total vote. This election now, there's a stark difference. We're expecting 6,000 10 voters. The register closed at, as far as we know, 6,010, which is a big difference from what we saw before. We know that persons are saying that the coalition may divvy up those votes a little bit more than expected. Free National Movement will divvy up those votes more than expected, possibly. And that we also don't know how many independent candidates we can expect to come to this area today. But that's all we have for you now. Hopefully we can get some more action later. We kind of can hear the motorcades coming in, but they're still a little ways out. We assume that they wanted to take their lap around the Fort Charlotte constituency before coming here to nominate. That's all that we have for you now. Throwing it back to you both at the desk, Janae and Shanique.
Thanks so much, Janelle Longley, with some great information there on how that constituency is shaping up ahead of the next general election. But we want to talk a little bit more about the process, Shanique.
Yes, absolutely. You know, Janaea, I want to talk about the narrative, particularly that independent candidates have, or even fringe parties, that the more known names in politics are not telling the truth, and they are spinning, and they're not good for the country. They don't have any ideas. I think everyone that puts their hands in, particularly those who are tried and tested and proven, have an idea. They've shown it. They've proven it.
Yes.
No one will get it right and get every single thing right, but let's be more measured in this election season and look and mature and look and see exactly what people have done and what they have done, what their footprint has been.
And the truth of the matter is, everyone has something to offer.
Everyone has
Every
something,
Bahamian
including
has
the
a
independent.
good vested interest
But
in the betterment of the Bahamas.
when you're gonna push a narrative that we're honest and they're not, why? Because they belong to the big parties, then that's just stupid. Because I'll tell you, it takes the big parties with the big dollars and the big dreams and the big visions to get a country moving in the right direction.
Everyone has a part to play.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about this process today. The Minister of National Security, Wayne Monroe, says final meetings have been held with the Parliamentary Registration Department ahead of today. All candidates vying for nomination are aware of the rules laid out, and we'll let you hear what some of those are for today's process.
Well, anyone who would think that they want to follow that advice is looking to potentially not being able to vote themselves. Because if you do something foolish that causes you to be arrested and detained, you may well miss the opportunity to cast your vote. So do not listen to that foolish advice unless you have a will not to vote. If you want your vote to count, you will not interfere with anybody else exercising their right to vote. If you do, you will be the one who is not able to vote because you will be in custody. And so that's a simple advice on that. Well, anyone who would think that they want to follow that advice have determined that they will only permit any music or something like that to come within a set distance away from the nomination place. They will mark that. It will be strictly enforced all across the board. On me, the current Minister of National Security, on the current Prime Minister, on everybody. And then they have determined that they will only permit 20 persons to accompany me. And the only addition to that would be my spouse if she chooses to join me. And so these are the rules that are set. We trust that all persons vying for nomination, vying for the election, will not only observe the rules set for nomination day, but for the advance poll and for the actual general election day.
Well, Shanique, in the first part of that clip with Wayne Monroe, he was really speaking to what the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Baines, spoke about, urging people that if you don't speak the Queen's English, you should be questioned and interrogated on that voters line. And we've seen other leaders really speaking out against that. It's not the time or the place to agitate or promote that type of attitude or violence, or as people are in line to vote, because we take this process very seriously.
It is
and
a serious process.
Mr. Monroe really speaking to that and encouraging people not to take that word of advice and do those things when it is time to vote. But he also more specifically spoke to what is expected to take place today. I know during the by-election we had a lot of concerns about how many persons are allowed in the room when you go and nominate. Some persons, they want to bring the whole party, and they're now saying that no, we've met with everyone. Everyone is aware of the rules. Don't come there with your 50 and 100 people and say you're coming inside. They're only allowing 20 people and your spouse inside the room, so those laws are very clear. They're also making the distinction of how far back you can have your motorcade. They don't want the noise to interfere with this process. But we do have our Laurencia Smith. She is standing by live tonight in the Pinewood constituency. Laurencia? Laurencia is live in Pinewood.
Yes, Janae and Shanique, we're here in the Pinewood constituency and the fanfare is starting to pick up. I'm going to let my cameraman pan a little bit so that you are able to see what's taking place through the corner. Right now we can see Mr. Lincoln Bain from the Coalition of Independents. He is intended to be the first candidate nominated here in the Pinewood constituency, and he's no stranger to this area, as this will be his third time contesting this seat here in the Pinewood constituency. And so we're going to pan a little bit so that you can see the junk canoe and the signs are coming in and they are ready. We know that the Coalition of Independents have been campaigning on the fact that change is here. A few minutes ago, we spoke to the returning officers who said that they are ready and anticipating a smooth process. So the music is coming and they're making their way here to the Cleveland Aeneas School as Mr. Bain is expected to be the first candidate. Now, he will not be the only candidate in this constituency. We anticipate to see the incumbent from the Progressive Liberal Party, Mr. Miles LaRota, and also a newcomer to the political arena, Mr. Denari, roll for the Progressive Liberal Party, rather for the Free National Movement. So we will definitely keep you updated for all of the details as this nomination day plays out here in the Pinewood constituency.
Thanks so much, our Laurencia Smith, live this morning in Pinewood. Again, as we said, teams have been out from before 6 a.m. We also know that political parties, independents, everyone is really showing their support. Certainly exciting times. There was some concern and chatter about school being closed during this time. Look, it happens every 5 years. It's maybe 1 or 2 days out of the election period season, and it's a democratic process, and we just have to get it done.
Every 5 years, Janae, it happens worldwide.
It does.
Just recently in Italy, they had a referendum. Schools were closed.
Exactly.
The individual who raised that point knows this very well. And what has happened in this election season too is a lot of posturing and trying to be noticed with just silly arguments that have been in existence since the moment we started elections.
It's not our first election. It's not our first rodeo. We have been doing this from time immemorial.
Not at all.
But following the closure of voter registration, that happened on Wednesday, April 8th. That's when the House of Assembly would have closed. We do know that there was a mad rush to register. A lot of things were happening, but if you did not meet that deadline, you did not make the register. But we are going to send it now over to Cat Island. Our Jose Etienne is live there. As we see a large delegation of motorcade underway in Cat Island this morning. Jose?
Well, Janae, as you said, the motorcade is just about underway. The party's leader and the party's incumbent member of parliament for this constituency, Prime Minister Philip Davis, he actually just mounted his truck. He and his wife and grandchildren, etc. They're about to leave from where we are now. This is Knowles, I believe it is. Of course, the PLP's headquarters is right here. And this motorcade is just about underway. As a matter of fact, if the cameraman pans the camera that way, you will see that the Prime Minister is obviously on the line. There are a few trucks right in front of him, a number of vehicles behind him. You could see this truck getting ready to take off. There was loud music here moments ago. It's expected to ramp up again. There are scores of PLP supporters here as they accompany their leader, their member of parliament, to the office of the administrator. That's where the Prime Minister and other candidates who are going to be contesting this seat, that's where they are going to be officially nominating. Now, Janae, again, there's lots of excitement on the ground. It's going to be quite a drive here because on our way here from the office of the administrator, I thought I wasn't going to arrive drive in time, right? It's about a nearly 20-minute drive. And so given what's going to be happening during this motorcade, it could take us about 30 minutes or so to get to where we're going, where the Prime Minister and other candidates will be officially nominating. But you can have the music in the background. Again, as we've said, there's lots of excitement. The Prime Minister is no stranger to nomination day. Overall, he's been the representative for this area for just about 30 years. That's 3 decades. And so obviously, he's no stranger when it comes to nomination day. And so again, we're going to sign off just for a moment. We're going to follow the Prime Minister and his team, his delegation, as we journey down to the Office of Administrator over there in New Bight. And of course, we'll join you live on that side. For now, I'm going to sign off, Janae, but in a few, we'll be back.
Thanks so much, Jose Etienne, live to this morning. Sorry, I'm so used to evening news. But we'll send it now to Laurencia. She's back in Pinewood Gardens, and she does have the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain. Laurencia?
And so I've been here all of my life. And so I believe that Pinewood needs change. Pinewood was developed by persons, developers who are known parts of the FNM and PLP. And I think that they did this to us. This crisis where we lose our furniture and our cars get damaged every few years, none of them have done anything about it. It's a $10 million fix. They could have done that in their sleep, but they don't care about the Bahamian people. So for the first time, we're going to have a person who was raised in Pinewood to come and make the change in Pinewood. They keep sending us someone from their party saying vote for them, and we get no results. Well, this time, Pinewood is going to fix their own problems with a young man who was born and raised in Pinewood.
You also joined this morning by your supporters. Talk about this support this morning.
The support is phenomenal. The support is phenomenal. There are persons behind us who were once they're Pinewood residents, but they were once PLP, hardcore PLP. There are persons who are hardcore FNM. There's a former FNM chairman, Pinewood chairman, standing behind me, and so we know that the people in Pinewood want change. I think that the Minister of Social Services failed the people of Pinewood. Having that position, he could have done so much more for them, and he did nothing for them. And so we want to see real change, and I think that Pinewood knows that I am a man who's going to stand up and fight for them. My people of Pinewood, you know that their worst nightmare is me in the House of Assembly. Give them their horrors, like they've been giving you horrors for the last 50-something years. Oh, God bless you. God bless you.
Obviously, Lincoln Bain, the leader of the Coalition of Independents, he's preparing to officially nominate. Also speaking about some of the challenges in that constituency. We know flooding has been a bone of contention for many of the residents there. Successive governments trying to put measures in place to have that challenge resolved.
They have been working over the years to have this issue addressed. Is not the easy fix that people often say it is, because it would have been fixed already. But Lincoln Bain has been in Pinewood. He's contested that area for quite a few times already under different hats, as a DNA candidate as well, and now obviously as the leader of his own party. And he has I see his chairman there and a number of others. He certainly has a wonderful support as he goes to nominate this morning there in Pinewood.
And obviously, the Coalition of Independents also doing fairly well in the last general election. We know that they would have had some bigger numbers than another third party who we saw make a lot of momentum, the Democratic National Alliance, during their first run to the polls. But we do have some clips from the Coalition of Independents when they unveiled part 2 of their first 100 days in office. That obviously took place on Sunday. And we want to hear from Mr. Bain as well on what that party plans to do in its first 100 days if elected to office. Mr. Bain says national security will be under his portfolio.
And we're going to put the person at the top there. We're going to change them. And so the Minister of National Security and Immigration is going to be me. As Prime Minister of this country, I will stand before you and answer to you. I will be responsible for the safety of this nation, not anybody else. We will not answer to anybody else. We will not be, I'm talking about any politicians over us. We will not be like Loftus Roker when he tried to do his job and Pinlin told him, hey, stop that. Because Pinlin had made a deal with Edison Key and them. We're not going to be like Brian McCartney going out to do his job and then Ingram tells him, hey, go sit down. Stop your foolishness. Stop doing your job.
Well,
We are going to do what we have to do.
Shanique, when we talk about third parties, do you think messaging for third parties has been resonating over the last several years? We know that that party has done a lot on social media, and we see that that is where a lot of parties are also taking the campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this party has grabbed onto a message that's quite emotive. It resurfaces every 5 years. It is the hot button issue if you want to resonate. By the way, I see we're looking at live images in Cat Island.
That's right, heading from Knowles into a New Bite to where the administrator's office is. And so we see that delegation are Jose Etienne and DaVincio Thompson in Cat Island. That delegation is making its way to the office of the administrator's office. And we also have other candidates now expected to run in Cat Island, not just the Prime Minister, but it'll also be Mike Holmes from the Free National Movement and Donna McKay for the COI. So hopefully our team will also have an opportunity to speak with those individuals as well. Absolutely. And when we talk about strongholds for the Progressive Liberal Party, Cat Island has been one of those seats. We know that there's been successive elections where that seat has been contested. Not much success, and persons say quite possibly the Prime Minister is expected to hold on to Cat Island.
He is the favored going into this 2026 general election. He has served the people of Cat Island now. I think he's going on his 7th attempt to be re-elected. As Jose mentioned, he's been elected 6 times. And so that speaks for a lot. Normally, our Prime Ministers perform very well in their constituencies. This Prime Minister has a new health center, a number of public infrastructural work that's needed. Road works, I've heard from people in Cat Island myself. He's also seeking to upgrade the electrical grid in Cat Island so that power generation is smoother and even meets the demands of Cat Island. It's developing differently and at a different pace than, say, in Eleuthera, for example, but certainly there is increased development and movement in the economy there in Cat Island, a wonderful, rustic, beautiful island, as we are seeing right there. So it's very different and really awesome.
For Cat Island is the airport.
Yes.
We know that the airport has been a big bone of contention for many residents there, including myself who frequent Cat Island. Sometimes you're faced sitting under a tent for hours waiting for
Janae, I remember sitting outside as a reporter.
Yes.
But the good news there even is, again, speaking of the capital works that he is implemented this term in Cat Island and to bring about transformation and progress, as their theme is or suggests, a new airport.
Exactly. And we know that the airport in the Bight will close at the end of the month, and the airport that has been revamped in North Cat Island in Arthurstown, that's expected to open. And so we'll see that traffic now shift again to the north as the development in the Bight continues on the airport there. So certainly, as you said, Shanique, a slower pace than more developed islands, but significant strides are being made.
Significant strides doing it. And that's what I love about our islands, Janae, and I love the members of parliament who represent each of them. They understand the nature of those islands. And so what's
sometimes
niche,
you have to balance.
You have to balance it. And a Cat Island doesn't need what Eleuthera is having. It needs its own thing. And that's exactly what I love seeing taking shape there. Back to what you said, this emotive topic of, say, for example, immigration is not to be dismissed.
Yeah.
We all must be very serious about it. But there are topics that people are going to latch on and bite into.
Yes.
The Free National Movement certainly, of course, calling into question citizenships and immigration, the
just
coalition
that, the
as well.
Documents. And we've
Exactly.
seen persons now being charged
And
before the courts.
which is
and so it makes you question, are these claims that were brought to the fore from last year? We're now seeing the end result of that. And then we have government on the end saying, well, we've had investigations going on for more than, say, a year now, and now we're seeing the end result of that investigation on your screen. Lincoln Bain, we're now in the room. They're officially nominating with those officials from the Parliamentary Registration Office.
Yes, I imagine this is a proud moment for him. This is not the first time he's nominated, but there he sits in 2026, weeks before the general election, nominating the first one in the Pinewood constituency to reach to the nomination center and do that this morning. I imagine it's a good feeling for him and all the others who nominate this morning that they are doing this for country, that what they feel exactly.
And we know some of the things that they must have. They must financially declare. We know everyone looks forward to the papers next week to see,
who's worth what.
Who is worth what? What do their assets look like? I'll always remember several years ago when our former colleague, God rest his soul, Mr. Rodney Monker nominated, and he declared a connep tree, a sugar apple tree, a tambourine tree from Black Village, and said, these are my assets, this is what I own. And so it's always interesting to see what people declare. Obviously, they will have to have those signatures from the 5 constituents in that constituency and the $400. And I've seen some pretty interesting things when it comes to the $400. I know one year covering the election, someone bought a big tin of pennies and said, this is my $400. And again, now we're seeing in Grand Bahama, Eddie Wan, the candidate for Marco City. He'll be contesting the Marco City MP and leader of the opposition, Michael Pintard, if we can get some sound on that.
City, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I will not let you down.
Ask them if they want to.
Linton Ritchie Jr. in Grand Bahama. We'll try to make some connection with Linton again, but obviously someone else now participating in this process, Eddie Wan, a businessman in Grand Bahama and also a newcomer to the political landscape. Michael Pintard, also one that they said is a favorite going into that seat. What are your thoughts, Shani?
Michael Pintard remains strong in Marco City. Now, I'm telling you though, this, according to what's on the ground and what's being said, is one of those seats to watch. However, though, he is the leader of the opposition. Like many of our prime ministers and their constituencies, Michael Pintard has been able to take hold of and make an impression in Marco City. He is going for a 3rd re-election in Marco City. Of course, it's in his best interest to win that seat, and if the Bahamian people so desire for his party to be elected, so it's important for him to do very well in Marco City. But certainly Michael Pintard enjoys the support of the electorate in Marco City. We will see if that still resonates and is true in this election season, but certainly he has been holding very strong there.
And again, just talking about Grand Bahama, split pretty evenly. It's also the island where the COI only holds 1 seat. They're 1 seat in the House of Assembly, and their representative is Iram Lewis. He's expected to nominate as well this morning. But we have more nominations taking place. We'll take you to some of that live video now.
How you doing? Good. So nice to see you, man.
Always, man.
Good stuff. Appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you there, right?
So where they saying they want to?
I'm going by. Yeah, we just want to get out of
Linton
here.
Ritchie Jr. live tonight, looking to secure an interview with the PLP's candidate for Marco City, and we'll allow Linton to get situated. He is obviously on the ground in Grand Bahama, trying to cover as much ground as possible. We spoke to him earlier this morning. He was at the FNM's camp, now at the PLP's camp, and he'll make his way, I'm sure, to the COI and other independents expected to nominate. We also know that Frederick McAlpine, he's also expected in Grand Bahama,
a very strong independent
to nominate for the Pine Ridge constituency against the sitting member Ginger Moxie, and those two had a showdown during the last general election.
Yeah, and he performed exceptionally well, Frederick McAlpine, but of course Ginger Moxie won that seat, and she is contesting again as the incumbent. McAlpine is back there to be a very strong contender as well for Pine Ridge. And yesterday Ginger Moxie was injured at an event. I think there was a school opening in some Sweetings Key, an area of Grand Bahama, to get students back to a school in their community. And it is understood that she may have been hit. There were some high winds, and she may have been hit in the head and rushed to hospital. We're hoping she's good. I got a message this morning that she was taken to hospital. She was obviously assessed and kept there for a bit and then released. So this morning we will see if she shows up to nominate, but hoping she's doing well.
I'm sure she will be wanting to show up to nominate. Hopefully nothing stands in her way to stop that process being injured, but we do wish her well and a speedy recovery. We do see now on your screens the FNM camp. If we can see exactly
Michael Pintard in Marco City.
This is
Michael Pintard.
Yes. In the Marco City constituency. Again, still our coverage continues in Grand Bahama. I'm getting some messages now about some issues that may or may not occurred in the Garden Hills constituency. We know that former NBA star Rick Fox is contending that seat along with Mario Boleg for the Progressive Liberal Party, and the COI also has a representative in that area. We'll also try to get a team down there to see what has been shaping up. Also, Shanique, a very interesting seat to watch. A lot has been said about Rick Fox and his decision to enter frontline politics. But on your screen, again, we see that mass show of support for Michael Pintard over there in Grand Bahama, and it seems to be split on two sides of the road, the PLP and the FNM in Grand Bahama. So definitely a motorcade showdown in Grand Bahama at this hour.
Yeah,
we're trying to make some contact with our teams on the ground. We do have the Fort Charlotte candidate for the Progressive Liberal Party, Sebastian. He's now making his way to officially nominate. He's surrounded by his family, also a number of supporters. Fort Charlotte also said to be another seat to watch. Sebastian, of course, he would have stepped down as the CEO of Island Luck at the end of March, officially positioning himself to be able to run for office. We know that Bastian has also been doing a lot of work in the ground in the Fort Charlotte constituency. He opened up recently a tech center. I've seen the flyers. He's offering BJC, BGCSE classes. He's offering classes for residents, entrepreneurship, holding Easter events. And like Bastian always says, he's not new to the constituency of Fort Charlotte. These are things that he has been doing from day one in that community, and he says he will continue to do so. Of course, he'll be going up against Travis Robinson for the Free National Movement and also the COI's candidate, and we do expect an independent to contest this seat as well. Shanique, of course, we see the mass show of support for Bastian on the ground there as he heads into the Thelma Gibson Primary School to officially nominate. We'll allow you to take a look at what is happening in Fort Charlotte at this hour. As we said, just 20 people allowed inside the room. The motorcade has to stop at a certain distance away from that nomination center. And I think we'll be allowed to enter into the room with Bastian as he prepares to officially nominate. Those documents have to be in place. I think we're switching gears now. We're back in Grand Bahama. We are back in Grand Bahama at the Belinda Wilson Center over there in Grand Bahama, where candidates now expected to officially nominate. And this process, as we said, they have until 12 o'clock, 12 noon today to make it happen. Again, video now back in Grand Bahama, the opposition leader, Michael Pintard, with his supporters, flanked by his supporters, expected to officially nominate this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Quite interesting, Janea. Of course, Michael Pintard there in Marco City is going up against Eddie Wong and the COI's candidate as well, just looking for that person. But Harold Roberts from the COI, 3 candidates expected to nominate there in Marco City as we continue to watch supporters go in behind Pintard as he goes in to nominate for a 3rd time in Marco City. Back to Fort Charlotte, of course, we saw Daphne Johnson, the COI's candidate, nominate ahead of Sebastian, the PLP's candidate, and that other person you referred to is Dr. Renee Simonet, a candidate for the BCP.
The BCP, wonderful. Yeah. So we know that there are now 4 persons contending that seat, and if others decide before 12 o'clock that they will be in the seat, then we will, of course, share that information with you as well. We're going back to Fox Hill. Our Rebecca Bain is standing by live with the Free National Movement candidate in Fox Hill, another seat to watch. Rebecca?
Good morning once again, Janelle. Once again, I am in the Fox Hill constituency. This morning we started off at Sandlin's primary, but now, if you look behind me, we are at the constituency office for Dr. Nicholas Fox, who is the Free National Movement candidate for the Fox Hill constituency. Now, Mr. Fox is supposed to be contesting the constituency, and he is facing PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell for the Progressive Liberal Party and Robert Bobby Brown for the Coalition of Independents. I'm going to bring Mr. Fox on with me, and can you tell me, how does it feel for the very first time entering frontline politics to have your first nomination day today?
Good morning. I'm a bit nervous today. I'm excited, but I'm happy that this day has come. As you know, the campaign has been very long. For well over a year I've been campaigning, and I'm just happy that this day is here. And the end is near, and the finish line, and I'm looking for the victory. It's been exciting. I've met a lot of interesting people. Fox Hill has fascinating people, talented people, and that's the part of the campaign that I love the most. Meeting people, conversating with people, and experiencing people's experience.
Alrighty, and can you tell me a bit about the plans that you have for Fox Hill if you are officially chosen as the Member of Parliament?
Once elected for Fox Hill, I have many plans. Starting from the problems that people are discussing with me. Crime, the economy, lack of opportunity in Fox Hill, better opportunities for the youth, more focus on the seniors, and healthcare, because there's no clinic available in Fox Hill with a doctor, and that's one of the things I want to implement. As you know, I've been going from house to house to take care of the sick and the shut-in and the elderly. Crime, I plan to put more police presence and community policing in Fox Hill. And for the youths, we want to do programs that can empower them. And for the economy, we want to bring economic empowerment to the people of Fox Hill.
Alrighty, and what time is your motorcade expected to take place to head down to Sandilands primary this morning?
My nomination is for between 10 and 10:30, so we would leave it shortly after that, after 10.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fox.
Thank you.
Well, Janae, you've heard it. Dr. Fox is about to start making his way down to Sandilands primary to be officially nominated. And as I mentioned earlier, Dr. Fox is going to be facing Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Fred Mitchell for the seat and Coalition of Independents candidate Robbie Brown for this seat here in the Fox Hill constituency. We'll keep you updated via our social media platforms on how today continues to go. But for right now, I'm Rebecca Bain. Send it back to you at the desk, Janelle.
Thanks so much, Rebecca Bain, joining us live from Fox Hill. We also have more video coming in from Grand Bahama. The opposition leader, Michael Pintard, officially nominating. He's sitting there having his documents assessed, declaration forms assessed, also ensuring that that candidates list is correct, all of those persons who would have signed for him, that they appear on that register, and also ensuring that his money is in order.
You know, a funny story, if we're not going to go get some audio.
No audio right now, Shanique.
So a funny story, do you know there was a time that there was a candidate, Janaea, who was short of their $400. And a leader of a party had to help that individual out. And I'll tell you, even though they know they're competitors and whatnot, sometimes you see those acts, unexpected acts of kindness, just play out and say, listen, give so-and-so the balance, let them go and nominate and be a part of this process that they so desire to be.
So they had to scrap on nomination day, Shanique. They were scrapping for the $400.
Scrapping, standing
outside. They didn't know they had to come to the desk with the $400.
Evidently
so they
not.
Get 20 from you, 50 from me,
that part.
100 from someone else.
And that former prime minister generously gave that individual the balance of the money that she needed to nominate.
Have your money correct when you come to nominate. We don't want anybody scrapping.
It could be in any currency either. You know what I mean? You ain't got to think that part through. But yeah, no, it's just a funny story I thought to mention.
That is very interesting. As we said, I've seen a number of things happen during this process. People get very creative on how they decide to pay. And of course, you have to get a certain percentage of votes to have that $400 returned.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so the running joke is, oh, he ain't getting his money back.
He ain't getting his money back. And that is when you hear, for example, on this show, some of the panelists say, oh, I hope they get their $400 back, meaning they hope to secure a certain percentage of the votes. And they all would wish to, obviously, but not all will.
So again, as we see the opposition leader, Michael Pintard, he is officially being nominated over there in Grand Bahama. Our Linton Ritchie Jr. is there providing coverage, as well as Anasia Kelly. Two team members doing a great job. They got into Grand Bahama early this morning and hit the ground running from the second they were in there. But we do know that, as we said, this process is expected to be extended until the 12 noon hour. Shanique, 41 constituencies, more than 3 persons will be contesting these seats. Lots of names to get through. We're now back in the Fort Charlotte constituency. We do see Sebastian, he's standing by. Not sure if he's nominated already. We're still waiting to get
he seems to be waiting to kind of go in.
He seems to be waiting to get that process underway. We're not sure if other candidates are already in, and he's waiting for his time to enter and present his documents to officials from the Parliamentary Registration Department. Again, we see Michael Pintard. He is now wrapping up his process. He's expected to now leave.
A fairly quick process. And so
should only take about 10 minutes.
About 10 minutes. And so we know earlier we saw Daphne, the COI's candidate, go into the Fort Charlotte registration and nomination center, and so Daphne Johnson, so not sure if maybe that's the holdup, but Sebastian, the PLP's candidate, appears to be waiting on the outside to go in
and get that process
to nominate.
Underway.
Yeah.
Again, photo opportunities for persons who would have also signed with the opposition leader. They're getting their chance, and this is also history, Shanique. Regardless of the outcome, when we look back at these videos and pictures, we'll be able to say that yes, too, this has been one of the most hotly contested or more energized elections that we've seen in recent times, and many will say that the stakes are certainly high.
The stakes are high for this gentleman that we see right there holding up that pink card in particular. This, for him, first time as leader of the Free National Movement, a party that he has been a member of for quite some time, and it has been the most interesting election campaign, this 2026 election campaign for Michael Pintard. And so, of course, him now seeking a third re-election in Marco City. He has so much on his shoulders, so much on his mind, I imagine, even standing there with a smile on his face, hoping that all things are going very well nationwide, and again, how is his campaign going to resonate and build and become even stronger moving forward to May 12th?
What we're going to do is take a quick break. There appears to be a lull in persons now waiting to either nominate. Just before we go, we do have Pintard. He's ready now, live again, just wrapping up that process. But as we said, we're going to take a quick break, Shanique. There appears to be a lull in that process, and we'll bring you right back as the Nomination Day 2026 continues.
Hey, it's time for your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals.
Our coverage of Nomination Day 2026 continues. It's April 16th, officially marking the start of the process toward May 12th, the election day. That is the general election. Some 41 constituencies, more than 4 persons represented. But we're going to go straight to Grand Bahama, the leader of the opposition, officially nominating Arlington Ritchie Jr. standing
inside
by.
was smoother than people trying to register to vote. And our hearts go out to all of those persons who, unfortunately, because of the process that has been in place, it's been a disastrous process for transferring and registering. But we're happy for those that have gotten on the register, and we are confident.
Do you have a response to Sebastian, the national?
forgive me, but could we have another question relative to the challenges that the Bahamian people are facing?
People chanting your name, you just successfully nominated. What's it like? See the support.
From the time I moved to Grand Bahama, we've built a relationship with the people. They have embraced me. I've embraced them. They love me, and I love them back. And so I'm honored. I'm humbled by the support that is here. And these are the people who every day, they work on behalf of Bahamians who have challenges with keeping a mortgage, paying the rent, finding food, keeping their children in school, getting medical procedures. They have reached out, even when they have had personal challenges, repairing homes and so forth. So I'm really, really honored to be working with a team that works for every Bahamian. Doesn't matter what your political color is. We have worked for everyone across this island.
Nomination day is completed. We're less than a month away from the general election. What's the campaign going to be like now on the ground?
We are going to focus on the issues, again, to hold the government to account for what they have promised but have consistently failed to deliver. And we will continue to lay out our vision for transforming Grand Bahama and then, of course, the entire Commonwealth of the Bahamas. So that is our focus going forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
Yes, I didn't know what you wanted me to do. So now you see Mr. Pintard is just successfully nominated. Of course, his supporters, they are here, outside of the Belinda Wilson Convention Center. They are now heading back to the Marco City headquarters after a successful nomination. You just heard the leader of the opposition, Mr. Michael Pintard. He noted that it was a smooth process for him. He's hoping to see him for the different nominations around the country. That is happening today. Of course, he said that following this successful nomination for him, he will continue to what he says is fighting for the Bahamian people as he hopes to secure his third consecutive term representing the constituency of Marco City in office. Now, Janae, of course, once again, here live in Grand Bahama, just a successful nomination from both the Progressive Liberal Party's Eddie Wan and Free National Movement leader, Mr. Michael Pintard, the current representation for Marco City. We haven't heard anything yet from the Coalition of Independents and what time they should expect to arrive here to nominate. But once again, we're on the ground and following this live feed. We're expecting to make our way to Pine Ridge to see what's going on that side of things. But stay tuned. We hope to hear from you, but sending it back to you at the desk.
Thanks so much, Linton Ritchie Jr., live from Grand Bahama. We also have team coverage in Long Island. Danielle Dean, our Jose Etienne, he's in Cat Island. And of course, we have teams across New Providence making their way to the various schools as nomination day continues. One of the things Michael Pintard spoke about in that interview was the process it took to register. A lot of people complained that the hours were long, that officials at the PDR moved more slowly than they would have liked. And then on the back end of that, it was the fact that, the register had been open from how long?
Janae, I'm happy that you went there because this is where I was going to go. And so let me say, I'm one of the ones who also waited until after the House.
Right?
That's what we do. That's us. That's us. And I was very happy. Of course, the lines were long. And Bahamians have a habit of ignoring anything around them and before them. And the appeals to go out and register, they took that for granted. And the minute the House was prorogued, then everybody started scrambling. What do you expect? And so the Parliamentary Registrar Department did its best to accommodate people. Now, those who needed to be with new addresses and the rest of it and verified, they had a wait, but those who were in the same constituency can vote either with their voter's card, or your voter's card or your passport. And so it was very, very easy for people to get through. Of course, the lines were long when you had other things to do at the Parliamentary Registrar Department.
Certainly, Shanique, certainly. Well, as we know, that register now being closed, we understand that over 400,000 persons are now on that permanent register, expected to head to the polls. Will we see those numbers at the polls? That is what is going to be interesting, Shanique. With this mad rush, I'm really not sure how to call it, how to read it, because we know in the past we've had extremely low voter turnout and voter apathy. Talking to a lot of young people, they would say, I'm just not interested. Why do you think that is?
Janaea, I'll tell you, first, some of them feel, well, my vote doesn't count. My voice doesn't matter. My one vote, what difference will it make? There's that demographic. But I'll tell you, in growing numbers, there's also the demographic on the youth vote that says, listen, we are interested. We love what we are seeing, certain things, or we want to see more of this, or perhaps if you can hear our voices, we want to add this to what it is that you have planned. And get this, they have questions.
Yes.
They want to know, how are things going to shape up, and how are you going to roll this out? How will it make sense? How will it impact the economy and us? And exactly, how is it going to move our lives forward? We too have a stake in this Bahamas, and in the future of this Bahamas, how will that help to move all of us forward together? So they're paying attention.
And we're certainly doing our part to encourage everyone to head to the polls, take a part in that democratic process. What I like to see on the ground, Shanique, when we spoke to a lot of mothers and fathers, they were encouraging their children to vote, explaining to them that, this is an important process, something that in times past, not too long ago, we were not able to do.
Yes.
And so I think history has a lot to play in that, a clear understanding of why your vote matters. And I always give persons this example when they talk about the fact that, oh, my one vote doesn't matter. We saw a sitting prime minister be voted out of office because of just 4 votes.
Only.
So when you think your vote doesn't matter, your vote determines whether or not that person will either retain that seat, you will have a newcomer. That vote determines your representation. Your representation obviously determines your voice.
Absolutely, Janea. And when you start to, there's Travis Robinson.
We are back in Fort Charlotte.
Absolutely.
The Free National Movement candidate for Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson. Of course, he's expected to go head-to-head with Sebastian. And we also
That's quite an interesting race.
Quite an interesting race. Why is that interesting, Shanique?
Oh, it's so interesting. I tell you, Travis Robinson, a very impressive candidate himself. He served as member of parliament before in another constituency, so he moved to Fort Charlotte, and obviously he had other expectations and believe other things were going to happen. But when Sebastian was named, Travis Robinson began to pull out everything out of his chest, his war chest, that is.
What was interesting was his campaign, Fox Hill
Yes.
And Fort Charlotte can't be bought.
Listen, that in fact, that's a tagline. But yet, as one of my panelists say, he went to try and get them farm goods to try buy them on that level. So let's see if he's going to say something here. Okay, Travis Robinson obviously preparing to go in to nominate. He has his team with him. Of course, that team will accompany him in the nomination center. They need a total of 20 people that is allowed that can go in with the candidate. And so Travis Robinson has his team secured to be able to go in once his turn comes up. I recognize a few people
checks by
in
the
there.
police officer there. Not sure if this is a pre-clearance before you're able to enter the center, the Thelma Gibson Primary School, to be able to officially nominate, but obviously some discussions happening there. Not sure if we're able to get some sound on what is being said or what Mr. Robinson is having to say about this process at this hour.
Yes, absolutely. He looks pretty, he's speaking there with his supporters, obviously informing them of what the officers have said perhaps, but he looks pretty confident, dressed very casually and very comfortably. Again though, just ahead of him is Sebastian.
And we're not sure if Mr. Sebastian was able to get in the room. As yet. We know that he was waiting on the outside.
Yes.
If we can get some word on whether or not he has officially started that process, if we were allowed in the room. I know at certain centers, some persons allow media to come in the room, and then maybe you go to another center and it's not allowed. So not sure what is happening at Thelma Gibson at this hour. We'll try to make contact with our reporter there, Janelle Longley. She is in Fort Charlotte, but we do have this hold now on Travis Robinson, expected to officially nominate in a few minutes.
I think Janelle is maybe trying to... Janelle Longley may be trying to get us some information. Who is in Fort Charlotte right now?
Again, not sure if there are some challenges being experienced for Travis at this hour. We've seen a lot of debate and discussion happening with police officials and his team. He seems to be held up at this juncture. He seems to be speaking a little bit more aggressively now. Not sure what is taking place. If we can get some insight from our reporters in the field on exactly what is happening. But as we wait on that information, we do know that the Coalition of Independents, they're said to be raising some concerns about the process. Lincoln Bain revealing that one of his candidates has been denied a nomination. Bain is also reminding the returning officer about the rules, citing that the Free National Movement's Denari role should not be allowed to nominate. Not sure how Bain determines that, but let's see what he has to say.
Well, it seems like a lot of persons that were hired to do this are seconded from other ministries, and they don't really know what the law is in some instances. And so I don't have a problem educating them on the law. And so you can see that it was kind of clunky with them knowing how to use the book to find names and that kind of stuff. That's understandable. But in terms of knowing the law, there should have been a proper training to make sure that everyone knows the law. Every election, this is the case, that there are persons giving different rules and different standards. As you saw just now, in West Grand Bahama, our candidate was told that she needs a letter from us in order to nominate. That is not the case. All right, there's no law that says that. The only qualification is to bring your declaration, to make sure it is notarized, and to bring your $400. That's it. But they are blocking her. They actually rejected her from nominating just now because she doesn't have a letter from the Coalition of Independents. That has never been the case. And so we are disturbed that this kind of stuff is happening already. In terms of Mr. Denari role, I was informed that he is a worker at at Water and Sewage, and if you are a public servant, even if it's a quasi area, you must resign. All right, and as you heard, the returning officer said that they were advised that by the commissioner, and so that's just the rules.
Shanika, I want to address something because I think Denari would have addressed this previously about his role at Water and Sewage, and he spoke to having all of those clearances made to allow him to continue to participate in that process. Now, I'm not sure if things have changed based on what Mr. Bain is making reference to, but I know that that was a matter that Denari also spoke to on the onset of this whole election process. But him speaking now about one of his candidates not being able to nominate, and according to him, they would need a letter from the party. Not sure what was communicated to the party by the Parliamentary Registration Department. So obviously we'll have to work on getting a response to those claims, and hopefully they're able to sort that out before 12 noon, because if it's just a simple letter that is being requested, and if it is in fact a requirement, I don't see that being too difficult between 9:52 at that hour now until 12 noon to get a letter to be able to nominate.
Listen, that letter can be taken with a photograph, sent. There are so many ways that letter can be done, but the Parliamentary Registrar Department has its training. The trainings have been happening even before. Obviously, there have been some by-elections, so training sort of has been ongoing. And oftentimes, there is a miscommunication depending on which center it is. We know these hiccups happen. We're talking about nationwide, spread out all over, various returning officers and poll workers, and oftentimes some of them get the information just a bit confused. You don't need that happening today, obviously.
No, not
but
today.
certainly, of course, I hope that they can get that matter ironed out ahead of 12 o'clock.
Well, we do know, as we said, our teams are standing by in the various islands. Our Jose Etienne is in Cat Island. Of course, he was a part or on the trek where the Progressive Liberal Party was making their way to the administrator's office from Knowles and Cat Island onto the bike to be able to officially nominate the Prime Minister as he looks to be re-elected in that seat. But there are also some contenders. Mr. Mike Holmes, he is expected to also contest that seat, and Donna McKay also in Cat Island representing the Coalition of Independents. Again, teams also in Long Island. We would have touched bases with Danielle Dean earlier today, still waiting to make contact with our teams on the island for the latest updates. But as this nomination day continues, it's already 10 o'clock. We've seen a number of flyers, some big events planned for today. Persons getting set for a chat and chill, a grill and chill, Mama Bake the Johnny Cake. Everything is happening today. It's a big block party.
Straight into this evening.
Today,
and
straight until tonight. There are block parties happening.
Yes.
Just at about every constituency. So if you wanted something to eat or drink, you certainly will not be found lacking at any of those constituencies.
Lacking activity nowhere around. And I'll tell you, I've seen preparation since yesterday afternoon into late last night into very early this morning, people preparing and members of parliament preparing for persons to after nomination, be able to go and just relax and chat and chill.
We're going to take it back to Fort Charlotte. Our Janelle Longley giving us an update on that process and what's expected to happen. Janelle?
Good morning again, Janaea and Shanique. That's right, we are still here at TG Glover Primary School. Things are not as loud as many may have expected them to be right now, but they are quietly intensifying. We do have a backup here at the nomination center. The COI candidate for Daphne Johnson, she is still going through her nomination process. And I mean that these processes this year seem to be a lot stricter, and they're trying to go through everything with a fine teeth comb. We went into the nomination room earlier, and the officials were checking every single name, every single constituent witness name on the list, and making sure that they are indeed residents of Fort Charlotte. So this backup now has the Progressive Liberal Party candidate for Fort Charlotte, Sebastian, stationed off on one side. He's waiting to go in next. And then on the other side here, we have the Free National Movement's pick, Travis Robinson, who just arrived moments ago and is still also waiting to get into the nomination room. Now, we don't know if they'll be going through the same strenuous process as Daphne Johnson is currently going through. We do hope to see her come out pretty soon so that we can hear a little bit about what the holdup was, about what the issues were. I know that when we were in there, we were able to witness her giving her nomination fee in. We were also able to witness her providing documents. We do know that some of the constituents that went in with her had to verify themselves to the officials. Even one guy had to pull out his voter's card to make sure that he was a resident of the Fort Charlotte constituency. Now, we know that this is an important process, though, because heading into this nomination day, we do know that there were some concerns about the register, especially concerning fraudulent activity. So I guess many people out there should be pretty pleased that they're making sure that every process is taken off without a hitch, and to make sure that all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That's all we have for you now, and hopefully we can get an update soon and we'll be able to come back and share that with you. But for now, we are here at TG Glover Primary School, where the Fort Charlotte candidates are expected to be nominated today for the upcoming 2026 general election. Janaea and Shanique, throwing it back to you.
So much, Janelle Longley. Thank you so
Janelle.
much for that update. Very concerned about what was happening at Fort Charlotte, but we are now going to take it to Cat Island. Our Jose Etienne standing by live tonight with the Free National Movement's candidate. Jose?
Still in Cat Island, obviously. Moments ago, I was live with you on the other side of the island with the PLP as they launched their motorcade. I'm now here in front of the Office of the Administrator with Mr. Mike Holmes. He's the F&M's standard bearer for this constituency. Mr. Holmes, thank you for joining me. Of course, moments ago, you officially nominated, you officially threw your hat in the ring. You are a political newcomer. Let's talk about the process. How are things going for you now that you've officially launched your hat into the ring?
Well, the process was quite smooth. Just me and a couple of my supporters were in the room. We are officially nominated. The big crowd is coming behind us. Okay, the paid crowd. Okay, we'll beat them where it counts the most, where the vote counts, not with the paid crowd.
Let's talk about that, right? Because you are going up against a man who's held representation for the area for overall about 30 decades, right? You are a political newcomer. What do you think it takes to unseat the incumbent member of parliament?
If you subvert this roads, you see the roads condition, you see the airport condition. That's how we're going to beat them. Bring to the people, bring it to the people. Look around. What Mr. Davis has done for you in 40 years? Nothing. He just did some stuff. He'll continue those stuff. That's how we're going to get him.
And let's talk about the elephant in the room, right? You mentioned a big crowd, a motorcade, etc. What do you say to persons who may question your crowd?
Hey, as the crowd comes out, that's how we're going to beat him. When they
appear to be having a little bit of technical challenges over in Cat Island. Jose, we will, of course, be sure to make contact with you once that is sorted out. Obviously, being on the Family Island, some concerns and challenges there. Nonetheless, we will get it covered. We will get it done. We are also getting updates from our teams in the field that this nomination process expected to be going very smoothly back in Fort Charlotte. We see officials from the Parliamentary Registration Department now speaking with Travis Robinson. Not sure what those discussions are, or if there were any immediate concerns there. Not sure if this took place with any of the other candidates. Travis Robinson obviously holding a number of documents. He appears to be speaking with an official. Obviously, it looks like they're talking about some time check. I know that a lot of the candidates set certain times to be able to nominate, and not sure if that was communicated with officials. But at the end of the day, the nomination process ends at 12 noon. So if there are any concerns, or if there is anything that is left to be worked out, given the fact that everyone is there early enough, I'm sure those challenges could be addressed before the 12 noon hour.
Well, you know, Janae, I'm not sure. Obviously, the Parliamentary Registrar Department would obviously modernize and things would change, but there are certain things that remain in place. Someone who is a well-placed source and veteran in media and in civil service says that you are required to present a letter from your party to nominate.
Okay, so this is in response to what Mr. Bain talked about.
Yes.
He said that no letter is needed.
Yes.
You understand that a letter now is needed.
Not now, it's been needed.
It's been needed.
It's never, that's never changed, yes.
It's coming in from an official, so he talked about he's never heard that happening. And again, it's so important to check and cross-check before you head into these centers to officially nominate. Now we know, or we can confirm that you do need that letter from the party, obviously, to say that you are their candidate representing or expecting to represent that area.
So hopefully it is something that, hopefully something that can happen via social media
I'm sure
and
it
get
can
it
happen
there.
very quickly for them to get that letter. We're going to take a quick break and bring you back with live coverage of Nomination Day 2026.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites. We offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
"2021. Borders overrun. Gang wars raging. Crime out of control. 4 years later, we're stronger. More than 1,000 new police and defense force officers, new interceptors protecting our waters, record numbers repatriated, and with stronger security partnerships, tougher anti-gang laws, and shantytown crackdowns, we're tightening our grip. Stronger borders, safer streets. This fight is never finished."
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At Investar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Welcome back. Your vote, your choice. Live coverage today of Nomination Day 2026. Again, I'm Janae Noel, joined by Shanique Miller. And of course, our live coverage continues of this process. We're going to take you directly back to the Fort Charlotte constituency. We understand that protests are now taking place. Members of the Coalition of Independents
Inside the center, by the way.
refusing to leave that center, their candidate having already nominated. But again, we understand that they're protesting the nomination of Mr. Sebastian and Travis Robinson. Sebastian now taking his place at the nomination center. Obviously, whatever challenges the COI would have presented, those not being taken on by parliamentary officials, as Mr. Bastian is now taking his place.
But should they be in the center while Sebastian is nominating?
We understand that they've refused to leave, Shanique.
They've refused to leave?
They have refused to leave the center. Inside where Bastian is now officially
This is now
nominated.
happening live, you all. The first time ever, I think, that one party has nominated and refused to leave the nomination center so that another party's candidate can come in and nominate. You are watching this live. You see there in the forefront, that is Sebastian with his team. Right behind them against the wall, the Coalition of Independents
standing guard.
Yes.
We obviously see police officials there. They do not appear to be aggressive, but they do appear to be unresolved in
being able to
removing
get them
themselves
out
from
of
that
the-
area.
out of the
And we
center.
know from officials who we spoke to earlier this week that only 20 persons are allowed inside the room who are allowed to accompany you inside the room. And so we're just looking at, who are the rules applying for?
Who are the rules
Because
applying
the
for?
coalition was able to come in, have their persons
Of course,
nominated,
but they've been
and
in there
they are refusing to leave the
they've
room.
been in there for roughly an hour, if not more, and we wondered what was the hold up, what was going on. Apparently, this is what the issue was.
So we'll just cue you in now to live video of Mr. Sebastian officially nominating parliamentary registration officials, obviously being very diligent in checking the register, ensuring that all of those persons who would have signed for him, that they do appear in that constituency on that register, ensuring that all of those documents are in order. We see her taking that process underway, checking those names, another official looking through those declaration papers. And again, as we said, coalition of independents, persons refusing to leave the room. Bastian obviously joined by his family and his loved ones at the Thelma Gibson
And this, you know what
Center.
this does? It is unfair. If you object to something, and look at them, this. I don't understand how this process is continuing.
What do you expect to prove
I
or
don't.
do?
But do you
being
see
standing in the
persons
room?
are taping with their phones Bastian's, persons from other places, Bastian's nomination. This here is unheard of. It has
really
never
is.
been done. And tonight on the
And
news
I'm
and
not
on the
sure
show,
why
we must have
police
to,
officials who are in the
allowing
room
it.
are allowing this to happen.
I'm not
because
sure.
they should be escorted out of the room, in my view.
Should be made to leave. I agree.
Hopefully we can get some answers from exactly what is taking place here. Bastian, of course, seems very unfazed.
Which
by
is
all of
which
this.
is good because
he seems
anyone
very determined and clear that y'all can do what y'all want to do
he's
around
going to
me, but I am
nominate.
focused on getting this process underway. And it appears as if he doesn't have an issue with them being in the room, but obviously no one else was allowed to be in the room when
Calm
the COI
heads must prevail.
was in the
Of
in
course
the room.
not, because
And so
because you
hopefully we'll get
respect
some clarity on this.
Janea, a part of today is to respect the other person. They obviously differ from you, and that's okay. This is a democracy, so therefore respect them, let them go and nominate, but then have them also return the
And
favor.
also, if you have a challenge, if you have a question, there are certain channels to do it. Is this the right way to protest someone being able to nominate today? You refusing to leave the nomination room when your candidate was able and allowed? And it'll be interesting to see if they will carry on the same posture when Travis Robinson also nominates in the
It is
Port Charlotte
unfair whether
constituency.
it is Travis, whether what we're seeing right now with Bastian, it's unfair for him and it's undemocratic. I expect the Parliamentary Registrar Department to make a statement on this and to be very, very firm in
They
whatever
are
it is they
obstructing
say.
the democratic process.
They
Shani.
absolutely are. They absolutely are.
And I'm very much surprised that the police are in the room and nothing is happening in this regard. Not sure if they want to allow it to happen for peace sake, but as you said, respect and what should be done.
Absolutely, respect and what should be done, respect for law.
Are they
respect
going to stay there until 12 noon?
The human, I imagine they perhaps will stay right there until 12 noon. I'm not sure if Bastian can bring in 100,000 people to vote for him right now, here and now. This is not a voting day. This is simply, see his money, his $400. That's it right there. And
we're
so,
hearing from our reporters in the room that the phones are out. Everybody is recording
Everyone
this
is
process.
recording this process. It is something that must be addressed. I expect the Commissioner of Police to be on with the news or my show tonight. The Parliamentary Registrar Commissioner to be on as well, because we want to know what's going on.
An explanation is certainly needed as to why this was allowed to happen today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is not what we need the Bahamas democratic process to come to, or our election process to come to. We cannot at all close our eyes and ignore and turn our heads to something like this.
Exactly. And I think that what has happened is because of the attitude of the party in some instances, some of the radicalism, I say sometimes people allow too many graces. Let's stick to the rules. What do the rules say? If all of the political parties and candidates, you were addressed by parliamentary officials, they met with you and your team, the rules were clearly laid out. They told you 20 people allowed per person.
20 persons in that room at a time. Come in orderly, and this is why they even give them times to show up at the nomination center so that there's no clashing, there is no confusion. Everybody peacefully go in, nominate, and leave with their supporters, and then go about their day. But this here has been disturbed and disrupted by what we see play out in this room at the Fort Charlotte Nomination Center this morning.
It'll also be interesting to see Mr. Bastian's thoughts on all of this. Obviously now it appears that he's not bothered by them being in the room,
and
but obviously it's unfair. It's
rightly
unfair.
so. Look at this person
It's
with their
unfair.
phone. I'm not sure what they're hoping to capture, but that's quite interesting. I don't. Perhaps there's something untoward happening that we can't from this distance see, because it is crazy.
But the Bastian campaign was
ground.
not in the room when you when you nominated.
Demanding that his nomination be rejected.
Why?
Mr. Sabaz Bastian was supposed to gazette the fact that he has a contract with the government. That has not been done. Mr. Sebastian is not eligible to nominate in this election. He's not qualified. What he's doing here today is illegal. And that is what is wrong with this country. Corruption, corruption, corruption. It's happening here and it's happening now. Sebastian, I am here to reject your nomination. You do not qualify. You do not qualify.
Can you specify what it is exactly that's illegal about the process?
The fact that he
Cannot do that.
You wait.
Next incoming.
No, this is the school. So we would like for you to explain the process, please, as information is in for the rejection of Sabas. We would like for you to explain to all in summary. Get your hand on people.
Yes.
Congratulations. Thank you. Nominated. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now we ready. I can make all the noise now.
Talk no baka.
No way.
Let's finish. I can feel their fear, and I understand their fear. Thank you all very much.
Next member of Parliament for Port Charlotte.
You mind giving us a comment quickly on what happened inside the nomination room, if you can?
Well, the COI and their disciples doing what the CIO.
Okay. Thank you.
Wait till we go outside.
Okay, we're live now, though.
Right. Hello. What's the question?
What do you mind giving us a comment on what happened on the inside of the room? We understand that they're trying to reject your nomination.
The COI being COI, their role is to, distract, disrupt, cause confusion, throw baseless accusations around and hope it sticks. But Bahamian people are beyond that. We're trying to take a country forward. We're trying to continue to build on progress. And we don't have no time for rhetoric. My commitment right now is to Fort Charlotte and convincing the 6,482 that are on the register so far that I'm the man to represent them in the House of Assembly and continue to build on the progress of this community and by extension the Bahamas.
And just to confirm for our viewers out there, you were able to nominate.
I'm nominated. I'm officially nominated, and the deal is done. It's one of my favorite. I don't. He's one of the decent ones, you know. Yes.
All right, Janelle, Shanique, you have it there. Sebastian, his nomination was being challenged by the Coalition of Independents. Walking out with Mr. Sebastian during that interview just now, we also just saw leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, heading in, as well as the Fort Charlotte Free National Movement intended candidate, Travis Robinson. Now we're going to go back inside and see if he is carried through the same strenuous process, and hopefully we can bring you some more updates as the time comes along. But right now, throwing it back to you, Janae and Shanique at the desk.
Thanks so much, Janelle, giving us a much-needed update of what was taking place in Fort Charlotte. As you saw, the Coalition of Independents protesting a nomination process, not something that I've seen in recent times. But as we said, an historic moment now today for Mr. Sebastian, him being able to nominate, stepping down as the CEO of Island Luck, and today pushing himself into public service. And as you heard him, he's very unfazed by what took place inside there.
Every Bahamian, including those who nominate for the COI, the Free National Movement, and of course the Progressive Liberal Party, must enjoy this, whether they're doing it for the first time or for the 6th or 7th
Certainly.
time. Let them enjoy this moment. The Bahamian people they are the voice of God in this instance. Let them decide this is not acceptable. We do not want our elections to deteriorate to where elections happen other places where there's violence and disruption. Yes, and let's do that respectfully. You know, and I love the fact that he remained measured. He laughed it off, but there's nothing to really laugh off. We should not dismiss it that easily. Absolutely. However, though, it's good that he's done that. It's good that anybody for the first time or seeking re-election are nominating today. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Of course, our coverage continues. Danielle Dean standing by in Long Island. We heard from Danielle earlier today. Danielle, what's the latest happening in Clarencetown?
Well, Janaea, a stark contrast compared to what's going on there on New Providence. I'll ask my cameraman, Austin Fernando, to just give you a quick pan so that you can have a clearer visual of just how quiet it is over here on Long Island. I know that you asked the question earlier if residents across the country are receptive to the idea of a third party. We do have third party candidate for the Long Island constituency, Shira Pratt, here with us. Ms. Pratt, can you answer that question for us? During your journey so far, have you noticed that locals are receptive to the idea of the Coalition of Independents here?
Yes, indeed. Since I started campaigning down here, I have made Long Island my home. And once I came here, made that decision to be a part of the community, I was embraced wholeheartedly, and I see where Long Islanders are truly ready to see a different way of governance. They're ready to take it on a different path and to actually see real tangible change in Long Island.
And now I know that this is your first rodeo. The nomination process is very fresh for you. You've submitted your $400 in Bahamian currency. Specifically, you submitted your nomination papers, inclusive of proof of citizenship. You've also brought your 5 supporters with you. You've also declared your finances. That's correct.
That is correct.
And I know that, Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson would have mentioned that you have to get at least a 1/6 of the votes. We know that the population here on Long Island is 3,500. For those that have registered, you have to get at least a 1/6 of those votes in order to get your $400 back. Do you think you'll be getting that money back?
I will be getting my money back, and I will also be walking into the House of Assembly to represent Long Islanders.
Of course, continue our coverage in Long Island, but we take you back in the Fort Charlotte constituency where we understand that the drama has intensified. Janelle?
The declaration, qualification, or aspects not required by those areas. It says that you shall reject their nomination. You know what shall means? You don't have an option.
Mandatory.
You shall reject.
You shall. It says
That is, our children can read the law and see that you are breaking the law, and you feel good sitting here knowing that you have broken the law. Again, how is it that when you have money in this country, you can freely break the law anytime you want? How is it that you can do that? You can go against the whole referendum of the people. Now you can go against the constitution of our country.
Bahamas.
I am going to write the international community and have them sanction this election because you have started out wrong.
Mr. Oliver, you started wrong.
Mr. Oliver, you have broken the law.
You all know the boss get all type of business.
And he is smirking because they don't care about breaking the law when it comes to people they perceive as powerful. But the law is the law. In front of the media, the candidate, you are already nominated, right?
Yes.
Yes. Who was a nominated candidate has a right to object. And if you receive their objection, it says that you shall reject the nomination of the other person. Why? The other person went on Guardian Radio yesterday morning and said that he has contracts with the government.
Wow. Yes.
He did not declare that.
Wow.
He said he was going to declare it in his papers today. Wow. The law does not allow for that. It says that he must do it in the Gazette a month before. All right? A month before. The month has passed. You are not allowed to break the law. And we are calling on you to do what is right now and to reject returning his nomination.
I will take it up.
Or break.
I will take it up.
No, you don't want
The law does not empower the commissioner on this. It empowers you.
Because of the boss.
It says the returning officer shall.
Okay?
The returning officer shall. And we are here now. The nomination day is not over. And we are demanding that you reject the nomination, because it is known, and he admitted on the radio yesterday, that's his admission, that he has government contract, that he gets $50 million from the government. And the law says that he is supposed to declare that a month before.
Did we hear it here from the radio? Sure.
You heard the objection of the candidate that
We
the
heard
law
it from the
says.
candidate. We heard it from the candidate.
Yes.
Is that factual?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
your
so-
job at that point.
No, we ain't
hold
here
on.
to determine that.
Your job at that point would have been to simply ask him, do you have government contract? Because it's against the law. The law says that you are not allowed to. He gave a declaration that he is not disqualified, and that's the law broken. He can go to jail. He just gave you a sworn affidavit that he qualifies. All right? That he qualifies, that he is not disqualified in any way. And so if he is giving you a sworn affidavit and you got an objection, the law didn't say she had to prove it, she got an objection. That's a complaint. The police gets a complaint, they must take action.
We got it.
Now? No.
We have it.
A sworn affidavit, and the law says if you knowingly nominate, knowing that you are disqualified, it is against the law. And so your job at that point as the officer, the returning officer, was to then ask him, do you have contracts? If he says no, then I can understand your stance to say we need some proof. But if you never asked, because you didn't intend to ask, they told y'all that if someone is disqualified, because they knew he was coming, because we made it known to the Parliamentary Registry Department yesterday that we would be making objections.
Are you concerned?
All right? We made it known to them.
Are you going to prevent me from nominating the FNM candidate?
I want to prevent you from nominating the PLP candidate. The FNM candidate is not in breach of the rule. You hear what he said? It's done.
It's done because you did it.
I hope you all heard that.
You could challenge it, though.
It's done. No, you broke the law.
Right? Ms. Johnson.
You broke the law.
Why y'all didn't
She was here. Y'all didn't
I was right in here.
But you also the challenge.
Y'all didn't say nothing. Y'all just
You intentionally broke the law because you know. Did you know the law?
Brother, respect to the Bahamas. Y'all get trained and Grand Train coming here. This is your land. Understand this thing. Okay, don't touch me. Understand this thing. Okay? Each one is supposed to be Bahamians, but you can respect one another.
If there's any reason,
okay,
to disqualify
then all us
the
take
candidate,
on our country
you are
on.
supposed to do just that. All right? She has a right by law to be in here. That's what the law says. Tell Travis he can come in. Travis would want to be in here. Tell him he can come in. The law doesn't limit how much people can be in here. All right? Please let Travis come in here. Travis can be a part of this law-breaking exercise. We are tired of people who have power and money in this country breaking the law when they want. But the regular common man in this country, you'll drag them over the coals. You'll beat them down. You'll tell them they're too lawless.
Because y'all
They
get a
break the
position
law.
and y'all get paid.
We are tired of it.
Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that. Now I understand why we can't get no further. Why we can't get no further, because no disrespect. Take people like y'all, because y'all see an icon. Okay? He's not an icon. Okay? Because y'all see him. Okay? And y'all say, oh, that's the boss, he got money. Man, look here.
Of course, this debate continues to intensify at the Thelma Gibson Primary School. Lincoln Bain, leader of the Coalition of Independents, now protesting the nomination of Sebastian in the Fort Charlotte constituency. His claims that Mr. Sebastian has contracts that he said were not declared a month before this process began, and their candidate obviously standing in protest as Sebastian officially nominated. We were in contact with officials from the Parliamentary Registration Department who would have told us that those declarations, whatever they may or may not be, would have to be made today by Mr. Bastian, also noting that Bastian would have disassociated himself with any other entities that were connected to government contracts. Of course, still waiting more clarity from officials on this process. But again, as we said, the process continues at the Thelma Gibson Primary School. Travis Robinson expected to nominate. We're still waiting to get word from officials on some of these claims. We have made contact with a number of returning officers. Just for clarity, I'm speaking now with the Parliamentary Registration Commissioner. Hopefully we can get him on the line to fully break down this process and what is expected to happen. But we do know that, as we said, nominations continue. There are some concerns also being raised in some other areas. I do believe our Jose Atian is still standing by in Kent Island. We're going to try make some contact with him. But Shanique, your thoughts on what is taking place this morning?
I think this is very disturbing. I think it's
and as Shanique talks, again, I'm continuing live to make contact with officials.
Please do.
To see how we can get some clarity
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
this.
We've been trying to reach them since this all started. I think it's quite disturbing what's happening. If there is a grievance, as we can see, it's still live right now, taking place. So therefore, the time right now is 10:30. There's about an hour and 90 minutes left to register for persons to nominate, candidates wishing to participate in this election process to nominate. And it's unfortunate because then you can't break the law and go beyond 12 o'clock. That's a part of the process and a part of the law. But back to this matter, it is unfortunate what's taking place right here. If there is a grievance, if there is an issue with Sebas Bastian nominating, based on what he may have, his interests, or what he may not have, or the interests he divested and has moved away from in order to enter politics, take it up with the Parliamentary Registrar Department, take it up with other officials who are connected, and it's their duty to ensure that when candidates declare that they are doing so lawfully within the parameters of the law, but certainly not to go and interrupt what's happening. It's good that we have Harrison Thompson on the phone right now.
Here with Eyewitness News, our live broadcast. Obviously, you would have heard some of concerns being raised by Mr. Lincoln Bain in regards to candidate for Fort Charlotte for the PLP, Sebas Bastian. According to Bain, he was supposed to declare whatever contracts that he may or may not have had with government a month before this process, and that they are allowed to be in protest at this nomination center. Can you respond to that?
I have to get the facts and see what the facts are.
Okay.
I don't have the facts. That means before I respond, I'd like to know what all the facts are, and before I respond to the news.
Can you lay out why persons may protest? What challenges that would allow them to protest in a situation like this?
In Bahamas society, anyone can protest anything, and if they have any concerns, they can protest. But it don't mean that it will cease the process. You can protest, and the protest is noted, and then it's dealt with at the appropriate time.
So obviously, after you would have gathered all the information, you would then have to see if the claims hold any weight in this regard.
Yes.
Mr. Thompson, also what is happening right now, if you are watching our coverage on Eyewitness News, you see that the process of nomination has been halted. Travis Robinson is awaiting his turn to nominate. That's been halted, and the entire thing has really been pushed back. However, the protest is ongoing. The Coalition of Independents remain in that nomination center in Fort Charlotte protesting against Sebas Bastian's nomination. What is it that you instruct your officers, the poll workers, the returning officers, and the police? Because this process is now being hampered based on this protest.
I'm sorry, I'm not watching the Eyewitness.
Well, I just informed you, sir. Mr. Thompson, I just informed you of what's going on. You need to respond because we all want to know, why is this being allowed to carry on? It's now been over 30 minutes.
I spoke to the returning officer, and I advised him what needs to be done. I will let me, before because I'm not too sure what is happening out there.
What have you advised exactly?
I hear you from the news media, but I have not. Let me see what is happening, and I will respond to you once I have a full understanding what is happening there.
Okay. You said you would have given some instructions to the returning officer there. Can you shed some light on what that may have been?
I give the instructions to the returning officer to nominate those who come to nominate, If there's a challenge, then we deal with it at the end of the day.
Okay, so
how about
allow
having those who
everyone
don't-
to
to
nominate.
nominate?
That's the final word, to allow everyone to nominate.
But how about having those in the room who are not supposed to be there? It's supposed to be a maximum of 20.
Because we heard that 20 persons, but we didn't hear. The Minister of National Security confirmed that it was agreed upon that only 20 persons be allowed in the room.
Yeah, that was agreed upon, yes. Well, it was agreed by the three major parties. We met with them, and they agreed to that. To the 20 plus the candidate and his or her spouse.
Right.
So it'd be 32 maximum.
Was there any provisions being made to allow other parties to have their teams in the room while someone else is nominating?
No, Mr. Bain did raise an issue as to whether they could protest. And there was a legal opinion on that is still being looked at, that yes, they might be able to protest. There's a process for that. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Thompson. We will make contact with you before the end of this broadcast just so that you're able to get that information and get back to us as soon as possible on what exactly should and should not be allowed and whether or not those claims hold any merit in today's nomination process. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Harrison Thompson, Parliamentary Commissioner, attempting to address some of those claims. Not much answers, but as we see, the commotion continues in the Fort Charlotte constituency as the FNM's candidate, Travis Robinson, attempts to officially nominate. We do have our teams. We understand that Mr. Robinson, he's asking for the COI to be removed as
because
he
it's his
completes
moment. It's his moment. Janea, it is his moment. It is now the Free National Movement's candidate, Travis Robinson's moment to sit there with his team, to take it all in, properly and calmly present his documents and money to the parliamentary team. And he wants that moment. He deserves that moment.
And Shanique, as we heard, Mr. Bain would have made some concerns already to the Parliamentary Registration Department. And according to the Parliamentary Commissioner, a legal opinion is now pending on whether or not this is allowed. It appears, and from what I'm hearing, that this may be a gray area as it relates to what the law may and may not allow, seeing as he's saying we have to get a legal opinion, because if
as it relates to protesting
inside
in nomination,
they
yes,
are allowed. And
I imagine, but Janea, I imagine it wasn't when this thought and idea was presented of protest. I'm sure they didn't consider a protest in the actual center when someone was nominating.
I'm not going to speak for them. I'm not going to speak for the party and what their thoughts were. This could have very well been a very calculated move. I cannot say.
Oh, of course it was.
I will not say.
That was calculated.
Whether or not they were allowed to be inside.
Yes, I'm sure that wasn't the consideration to say in the center. Of course it's calculated. It's masterful even.
So as we see on our screen, Travis Robinson, as we heard from our team, he was attempting to also have the COI removed from the room. Not sure if that's happened, as we see more COI members are still there in the room participating in what they're calling a protest. Travis Robinson now officially nominating in the Fort Charlotte constituency.
Again, Travis Robinson is not a novice to politics. This is his second, perhaps third time. First, he was a first-time youngest member of Parliament elected in Baines and Grantstown. He attempted again, but was unsuccessful in the 2021 general election, and now he's back here in Fort Charlotte nominating for the Free National Movement to contest the May 12th general election, meeting the returning officers and the parliamentary team as he begins his nomination process right now.
And we're going to check in with some of our other teams as this process continues to be underway. As we said, we do have teams in Grand Bahama, also in Long Island, and they continue throughout New Providence. We have yet to check back in with our Rebecca Bain. Obviously, Janelle Longley remains in Fort Charlotte. Danielle Dean, she's in Long Island, and our Jose Etienne in Cat Island. We were able to speak with Jose earlier. We got disconnected. Let's see if we can get Jose back on the line, if he can update us on what's happening over in Cat Island as the Prime Minister is expected to officially nominate. But we're going to go to a break at this juncture. We'll make some more calls, try to get some more clarity as to what's going on, and bring you the latest right after this.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
And if you have never registered or didn't plan to vote,
Don't get left out on one of the most important decisions of your future.
Make sure when election day comes, you're ready to say,
Your say, your vote, your choice.
Wealth should not only belong to a select few. At InvestStar, we believe the door should be open to everyone. We provide options for planning a better future. Our investment funds are designed to assist you in reaching your long-term financial goals. Let us show you how.
Play for fun, not for funds.
In the Bahamas, we play hard, but we live smart.
We love a little competition.
A little excitement, a little thrill.
And at Idle Luck, gaming is all about entertainment.
Shared moments, celebrating the wins, and enjoying the experience.
The key is simple. Play for fun, not for funds. When you set a budget before you start,
and know your limits, you stay in control.
And when you're in control, the game stays what it's meant to be.
Fun. So play for fun, not for funds.
Must be 18 and over. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so please game responsibly.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
(2021) Borders overrun, gang wars raging, crime out of control. 4 years later, we're stronger. More than 1,000 new police and defense force officers, new interceptors protecting our waters, record numbers repatriated, and with stronger security partnerships, tougher anti-gang laws, and shantytown crackdowns, we're tightening our grip. Stronger borders, safer streets. This fight is never finished.
Hey, it's time to lock in your vote.
Your vote is your power.
With the new boundaries in place, you may need to transfer or confirm your voter registration.
Your vote, your choice, Nomination Day 2026. Our coverage continues. Again, I'm Janae Noel, also joined by Shanique Miller. Drama unfolding this Nomination Day. Some clarity we'll try to clear up before the day ends. But the process continues. We have team coverage, Cat Island, Long Island, Grand Bahama, and of course, right here in New Providence. I'll take you live at this hour. Our Jose Etienne is standing by live with Latreille Ramming, the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, as Prime Minister Philip Davis is expected to nominate. That process underway at the Administrator's Office, Shanique. And Shanique, it's shaping up to be a very interesting day. We're hoping that calm heads will prevail. We talked about promoting and ensuring that this remains a peaceful process for all, regardless of the challenges. And certainly we hope that by 12 noon, whatever issues will be cleared up and the day will proceed. Of course, we heard from the Parliamentary Registration Commissioner Harrison Thompson, who concluded that at the end of the day, he gave the directive to allow all persons to officially nominate today. And his word should stand or will stand today.
But it must.
As it appears as it is doing.
Janelle, pardon me, we cannot defy the systems that we have in place. Those are there for a reason. Borders are in place for a reason so that we don't go outside of them and create a mess. If there is a grievance, if there's something to protest about, by all means do that, but in a respectful way. Let the process continue. Of course, we see that, the Latreille Ramming, we hope we could hear what he had to say.
Discussing Shanique, because we spent a lot of time on that process earlier. I want to go to Jose Etienne live in Cat Island at this hour. Jose?
Shanique, I'm here still in Cat Island, where moments ago the nation's leader and longtime incumbent member of parliament for this constituency, Prime Minister Philip Davis, has just nominated. As we said earlier during our live coverage, this is nothing new for the Prime Minister. He's done this several times now. As you can see, he's just behind me, embracing supporters. He just submitted his nomination. Of course, his 5 constituents accompanied him inside the room. He submitted everything else that was necessary, requisite item necessary for him to officially nominate. You could see him here with us. Prime Minister, we're live. I know you just nominated. How was it for you? How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling great, confident. I'm so happy to be able to offer myself once again to the fine people of Rumkey, San Salvador, and Cat Island. Of course, Cat Island is my home, and it shaped me. It made me what I am today. So I can never, ever be grateful to have the blessing to be in a position to be able to do for my people, and that is exhilarating for me. And to be able to, again, move to the next level with them.
You've been a long-time member of parliament for the area. If you were to be re-elected, what would be priority on the agenda?
Well, priority is what you're saying. Just build upon what you're saying. If you've been moving around, you'll see that the airport is building. The 2 airports, one will be open shortly. New Bight is continuing. You see the road work is on the way. We're installing potable water for the first time ever in the Cat Island history. They're having running water placed in. All those things are going. We build on that. And the next step would be to, with the infrastructure completed, to attract the necessary investments that comes with the knowledge that infrastructure is here to be able to support major investments in the island.
Thank you.
Become the oldest serving Prime Minister.
Thank you. You just heard from the nation's leader, Prime Minister Philip Davis, who again just nominated. And so in a moment, I believe we're going to the PLP headquarters. We've been made to understand there's going to be some formal official opening ceremony. And so scores of PLP supporters, residents here are going to be flocking to that area. But again, Janae, he is the second candidate for the Cat Island, Rumkey and San Salvador constituency to nominate. We are still awaiting for Donna McKay, who's the Senate Bear for the Coalition of Independence, to come here at any point now. Shanique, quite some interesting faces. Before I wrap it up, some interesting faces here. We saw former Police Commissioner Clayton Fernandez.
Thanks so much, our Jose Etienne in Cat Island. Prime Minister Philip Davis officially nominating for that seat. I think we said seventh consecutive run in Cat Island. And as he said, he hopes that the process and the progress will continue. He talked about the airport, which we discussed earlier, that is taking shape. One will close and the airport in the north will reopen, allowing for works and construction and improvements to take place over in New Bight, Cat Island.
But at the end of the day, this is what we need. tangible evidence that the lives of Bahamians are moving forward, are improving, that far-flung communities like Cat Island and islands southern of that or south of that, that they too can experience what it means to enjoy the good of the land and a better quality of life. This is what we need. And we also need a calm, measured, sort of steady presence to be able to make things happen. Here is
People want to be in a position where they can buy their own food, take care of their own family, rather than having the government do so. It is the government's responsibility to make sure that people are empowered and that investors and opportunities are granted for the people so that they can take care of themselves.
The race is on to the polls. We are less than a month away. What are the next campaign plans for you after the successful nomination?
Well, my thing is to keep knocking on doors. That's important to me, to knock on doors and to get to as many people as I possibly can. There are 13 polling divisions. I've been able to go through 10 of them, and I've got 3 more to try to complete between now and Election Day.
How important is it for you to continue campaigning as an independent candidate? How important is it for you to represent the people of Pine Ridge as an independent candidate?
It's very important because despite having all these political parties, it seems like we don't have a voice. And so why I'm doing this is because we need a voice, and we need to create some balance when it comes to governance and opposition. We need some kind of balance, and so it's important that we do just that. And so for me, it's important that we represent people, and not only do we represent people, but give people that opportunity to know that they can do better by having successful representation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Makabine. Hold up that pink slip for us one more time. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Well, Janae, you just heard from our first independent candidate. That is Mr. Frederick Makopang. He just had a successful nomination, and during that interview, we heard some cheers coming from the inside of Christ the King. Of course, we are live here in Grand Bahama, and I can tell you that those cheers are coming from the delegation of Mr. Iram Lewis, the Coalition of Independents candidate. Now, he's making his way out. My camera woman, she can just pan for a bit and see his people walking out. So we're hoping that we'll be able to catch a quick interview with Mr. Iram Lewis, who has just completed a successful nomination based on the cheers that we are hearing. Now, here at Christ the King, before the Coalition of Independents, Iram Lewis, there was a successful nomination.
All right, thanks so much, our Linton Ritchie Jr. As we said, things are moving fast. Linton, don't mean to cut you off, but we do have a number of things happening in a number of our islands. We go back to Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson.
Well,
now at
1 Samuel 17:45, David said to the Philistine, "You come to me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the God of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied." Yes. And so I stand on that premise. That has been the framework for my campaign, and I believe that the people of Fort Charlotte, having heard my message and heard my bold agenda to transform the community, will give me the honor of my life to serve as their next member of parliament in this upcoming election.
Yes. Yes. You're now nominated. What's next for you in the constituency? Anything that you plan to do in particular?
The work continues in Fort Charlotte because I also stand on the shoulders of the outgoing member of parliament, the Honorable Alfred Sayers. And Mr. Sayers said something very important. He said that the person who would replace him will have big shoes to fill. Mr. Sayers was an integral part of building the University of the Bahamas. He served as our nation's Attorney General, and he has spent decades in public service. And so the people of Fort Charlotte have one question to answer. Does the candidates being put forward fill those shoes, or do they buy them?
Right.
And that's the
Obviously, our coverage continues. Travis Robinson speaking to the developments made by the outgoing Member of Parliament, Alfred Sayers. We take you back live to Grand Bahama, the COI's candidate, the only holder of the seat in Parliament for the COI, Iram Lewis.
Without the foreigners being involved, we can do it because it's proven that we are the best builders in the world, we are the best operators in the world. So again, ownership and empowerment belongs to Grand Bahama and Grand Bahamians.
First time you're nominating under a different party. First you were with the Free National Movement, now you're with the COI. What does this change mean to you now heading into the 2026 general election?
Of course, Grand Bahama needs a change because what can I say from the past that wasn't said already before? what can I have brought from the past that we didn't promise to the people before? And one thing I can say about the COI has never disappointed Grand Bahama. Amen. He's never given a chance. And we will not disappoint Grand Bahama moving forward.
Very confident in the way forward for you?
Absolutely. Confidence is the only way. I will not enter a race that I don't believe that I can win. So through the grace of God, I believe in the support of our people. You know, they say faith without works is dead. I have my faith, but the work has been put in by our people, and I do believe that we are going to, at the end of the day, through the grace of God, bring the victory home.
What's left now for the campaign trip? We're less than a month
We
away.
have to continue to go. Again, being an Olympian, I know how it is. You may have a good start or even a rough start, but you have to come across that line strong. And I believe that I'm going to drive all the way across the finish line, and through the grace of God, and again with the backing of our people, Central Grand Bahama and Grand Bahama on a whole, we're going to bring the victory home.
Change is here. Thank you so much, Mr. Lewis. Well, Janae, you're hearing it live here in Grand Bahama. The COI successfully nominated Mr. Iram Lewis and Mr. Daniel Mitchell for the Pine Ridge constituency, Mr. Mitchell that is, and for Central Grand Bahama, Mr. Iram Lewis. If my cameraman can pause, you can see him with that pink slip showing his successful nomination. Now, of course, we will continue here on the ground in Grand Bahama, bringing you live coverage from Nomination Day 2026. But for now, standing by, I'm Linton Ritchie Jr. sending it back to you at the desk, Janae.
Thanks so much. A phenomenal job by our teams in all of the islands and throughout New Providence. We've had extensive and some really excellent coverage by our team members today. Iram Lewis officially nominating for the COI. We take you back now to the Fox Hill constituency. Rebecca Bain is standing by. This was earlier today when Fred Mitchell would have addressed his supporters on the Fox Hill Park. He would have spoken to them about the road ahead, and this is also shaping up to be a seat to watch. And again, in Clarence Town, Long Island, our Danielle Dean. Not much activity in Long Island. We had anticipated that we would see a little bit more fanfare on the island there, but a pretty quiet day for residents there in Long Island. Then we've seen supporters in Freetown. Wayne Monroe, I think this is a soundbite with Mr. Monroe after he would have completed that nomination process. So that's just some video there of Mr. Monroe after he completed that nomination. We talked about Freetown earlier today, a 5-way race. Again, this is back in Long Island. Dr. Andre Rollins, he's the Free National Movement's candidate for the area, officially nominating earlier today. This process moving quickly across the islands. But coming back to all that we've seen today, all of the developments, of course, Andre there greeting the independent candidate who says, you know, she's a daughter of the soil and she thinks that she has what it takes to take that community and that island forward, Shanique.
Absolutely, Janae. And of course, the candidates there, you saw him a moment ago, Dr. Andre Rollins for the Free National Movement, Renika Knowles for the Progressive Liberal Party, the Shura Pratt for the Coalition of Independents, and the independent candidate that we spoke with earlier today. You know, of course, the islands have a different energy, not necessarily all that fanfare. And so they're seemingly kind of going individually and nominating, as should be the case. And you know, this is a special day. Nationwide, it's a special day. Bahamians love elections. They love their politics. They love to look forward to this day this season rather, once every 5 years. And they should really not be denied that. Neither should the candidates as well, hoping to contest seats.
Speaking on that process, Shanique, Jose was able to speak with the Director of Communications in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latre Ramming, just on some of the concerns that the Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain expressed about Sebastian's nomination in the Fort Charlotte constituency. We have that clip.
I've just spoken to Val Grimes, the head of the PLP's legal team. As you are aware, that there was some protest by the COI and the PLP's candidate Sebastian for Fort Charlotte. The campaign is satisfied that Mr. Sebastian meets all the requirements. He is nominated. We expect him to be on the ballot on May 12th, and there's no concerns with his declarations.
Why was there a concern in the first place?
I think that this is consistent with the opposition to create chaos and confusion where possible. The PLP campaign remain focused, and we expect on May 12th that Sebastian will deliver Fort Charlotte for the PLP.
The tray ramming the Office of the Prime Minister, Director of Communications, bringing some clarity to what we saw and experienced earlier today concerning Sebastian and the protest against his nomination in Fort Charlotte. He said that they would have spoken to their legal team, Valentine Grimes, who really explained and broke down their process, saying that there is no issue concerning Bastian's nomination at this juncture. This was also confirmed by Harrison Thompson, the parliamentary commissioner, who told us directly, no, we are allowing everyone to nominate today. And so that process already underway. So the concerns now levied against Mr. Bastian at this point have been quelled for now. We heard from the Director of Communications, also hearing from the parliamentary commissioner, Harrison Thompson. And if the matter reemerges, we will be sure to bring you the latest update on that.
Obviously, in our newscast this evening at 7 o'clock, following that, of course, beyond the headlines, we will try and get you more answers if necessary so that you understand plainly, because what we don't want is the narrative to develop that again, something untoward is happening or was allowed to happen by, again, the systems of governance that we have in place. We cannot sort of cheapen those systems, because then what nation do we have when the frameworks of our very society, the things that keep us as we are, the peaceful, law-abiding, ordered, structured nation, when those are now fragmented?
And we heard it themselves. Opposition will be opposition. They will do what they can to oppose the process. Yeah. And again, we're hearing from Lincoln Bain.
We might as well
with the
burn
COI.
that today, because it is of no effect. The Constitution is clear on when this is section Article 48J of the Constitution of who is disqualified from running. It lists persons like senators, judges, other persons for obvious reasons. But it also says that if the person is interested in any government contract and has not disclosed the nature of such contract and of his interest therein by publishing a notice in the Gazette within 1 month before the day of election, that they are disqualified from running. That's the law. I can understand you going against a referendum, even though that is also the law, but to knowingly and blatantly break our Constitution, our election, which is the most sacred thing in a democracy, to break that for a moneyed person, a powerful person, a person who says that he is connected to the tune of $50 million to the government, that is wrong. That should not be accepted. Our candidate, according to the Parliamentary Elections Act Section 38, was empowered to object to the nomination of this person. All right? We objected in writing and verbally to this nomination, just because of the law. So the same way they had to go through every name and make sure that everyone was qualified, they had to make sure that the person sitting in front of them was qualified, and they had to follow the law. They went line by line, searched, made sure the person was in the register, because there's several qualifications. All right? And they did their job as it relates to that. But as it relates to the Constitution, it says that
Lincoln Bain, leader of the Coalition of Independents, obviously reiterating those same concerns that he expressed inside the nomination room at the Thelma Gibson Primary School, protesting the nomination of Sebastian in Fort Charlotte. But we're going to go now back to Long Island. Our Danielle Dean, she's standing by live today with the PLP's candidate, Renika Knowles. Danielle?
Well, yes, Shania, that's right. It's a very big difference from where you left us last. In a big show of support, we had Renika Knowles and her supporters come in with a motorcade all the way from the northern end of the island. But so far, let me update you, we did have 3 of the other candidates go in and cast their bid for nomination. We had, in this exact order, Dr. Andre Rollins, who was running on the F&M's ticket. Then we had Natasha Turnquest, that independent candidate that we got a chance to interview a little bit earlier. We then had Shura Pratt from the Coalition of Independents, and now we're standing here with Renika Knowles, the PLP's contender for the Long Island constituency. Ms. Knowles, talk to us about how you're feeling today to have this overwhelming show of support.
I'm feeling very excited, and I'm feeling very encouraged, and I feel that Long Islanders are ready for progress. And for those who may be on the fence, I say to you that I am here for you. I am a passionate advocate. I am a worker. I get things done, and I get the work done. Whatever it is, if I don't know something, I will find the expert advice to get it done and execute it. We have to bring Long Island in. It's for our future children's generation and the young people who are away, who are so talented and who've just been surviving for too long. It's now time for you to come back and help your island flourish. And the Davis administration has made a heavy investment and actually executed on a lot when it comes to infrastructure. And there's a lot more that we can do. So we're asking you to give us an opportunity to show you what the PLP can do for Long Island and how much more that we can do.
And speaking of getting things done, trust me, we had the opportunity to canvass a number of constituencies here on Long Island, and the residents are looking for each candidate to do just that, get things done, especially when we talk about things like the Deadman's Key Airport Terminal. Talk to us about those real issues that Long Islanders are looking to see fixed, healthcare issues. They talked about late mailboats, inconsistent mailboats, which are affecting their businesses, their personal lives. What are your plans to tackle those very real issues?
Okay. With every constituency, you won't be able to get everything right the first time. The infrastructure is the most important, being able to get that. The healthcare is paramount. I don't feel a person should have to go to Nassau to be able to get their teeth fixed, OBGYN checkup. So it's a matter of just immediately starting the scheduling with doctors over here, an optometrist, dentist once a week or a particular schedule every month, and being able to have a radiologist on site who'd be able to operate those equipments that are necessary that are just sitting there collecting dust. That's just one aspect of it, but I've formulated an entire blueprint listening to persons over the last 4 years. It's yourlongisland.com, and it's a collective effort of ideas and things we can deal with immediately, and some things will take time.
Well, Ms. Knowles, definitely we will get an opportunity to talk with you a bit later and a few of your supporters to find out where their heads are at. But we're going to have to send it back to the desk over in New Providence. Janea reporting live from Clarencetown, Long Island. It's Danielle Dean.
PLP. Thanks so much, Danielle. The coverage continues island by island. We're making our way through also across New Providence. We have our Laurentia Smith on standby. She has been in the Pinewood constituency from early this morning. Laurentia?
The nomination yet?
Shanique, we're here at Cleveland Eyewitness. It is quiet now. It's been a peaceful morning, but it was also eventful as 3 candidates so far have been successfully nominated here in this constituency. We know the incumbent, Mr. Miles LaRota for the PLP, the Free National Movement candidate, Mr. Denari Royal, and the leader of the COI, Mr. Lincoln Bain. As I mentioned, it was quiet and peaceful, but it was eventful because Mr. Bain raised some concerns about Mr. Denari Royal's employment status. As we know, Mr. Roll has ties to WSC, and Mr. Bain's concern was with him being a public servant's question whether or not he had resigned or if he was on leave of absence, and he noted that if he was making concerns about his employment status and noting that if he was still employed or on leave of absence, he was saying that claiming that it was in contradiction of the Constitution. He brought his concerns to the parliamentary officials who were in and noted that the COI were rejecting, making objections to Mr. Roll's official nomination. Well, after that, we had a chance to speak with Mr. Roll, who came in for his nomination because he was the last person to nominate here. And Mr. Roll says that he noted that based on his industrial agreement, he is on a leave of absence without pay. He noted that there are some leeway inside of his industrial agreement if persons are seeking public office. We also brought Mr. Bain's concern to the incumbent, Mr. LaRota, and Mr. LaRota noted that he's remaining focused on what's happening here in the Pinewood constituency as he's looking for a second term. Now, we noted that the nomination center will officially close at 12 p.m. So at this time, we can note that 3 persons have successfully received the nomination here in the Pinewood constituency from Cleveland Eyewitness. Back to you at the desk, Shania.
Thanks so much, our Laurentia Smith in the Pinewood constituency earlier today. We take you live now to Grand Bahama. The Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, is standing by.
Resilience Center is going to be. We're doing some road works right now in Hudson Estates. It's a private subdivision, and so it's a big deal for the people in that community. We've done a lot of cleanup initiatives in there as well. We've done in work in Hawksville, in Heritage. We developed 2 new parks in Heritage. The people have been asking for that from the subdivision was built. We've also ensured that road work was done there that allowed easy access and for safety purposes for the people in Heritage, in the area called Regency. We developed a basketball court and restrooms, and so we've been doing a lot of work throughout the Pine Ridge constituency, and not just the infrastructural work, but also the work that we've done one-on-one with constituents, the programming that we've allowed to happen, the entrepreneurship workshop, the mother's pantry that we have for single mothers, the homes that we developed in the back of town that's for those that are displaced, so they have a safe place to be and to be for a temporary period until they get their selves together. And so we've been working. I've been very, very focused on impacting lives in a meaningful way.
Final question from me really quickly. Now that the nomination day is coming to a close, your PLP colleagues successfully nominated as well. What are your chances, or how confident are you that they will be able to flip those seats from the Free National Movement in the COI?
I'm extremely confident. I think they can stand not just on who they are as individuals, because we have a very, very strong team, but also on the work that the Progressive Liberal Party has been able to do, the work that our Prime Minister has been able to do throughout the entire country, delivering on behalf of the people on Grand Bahama Island. Unemployment is the lowest it's been in 18 years. You have buildings that are being demolished and repurposed, that Grand Bahamians are returning home because there are opportunities to return home too. People talk about the traffic jam. Yes, there's traffic jam because there's a lot more people here, a lot more vehicles here moving about. But Grand Bahama is in a much better place than where we met it. When I came to office, one of the first things that I did was created an initiative called CoLab, Partnerships for Development, and beautiful Grand Bahama came out of that. There's a lot of people who are now working. They're able to put bread on the table, and that I believe is going to help the other candidates for the Progressive Liberal Party, along with the fact that they are excellent candidates. They have a heart for the people, and so they will be able to execute on behalf of the party that looks out for the people.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arlington Ritchie Jr. Live, ending his coverage over in Grand Bahama. And we know that it's the 11 o'clock hour, 11:10, but from what we're getting from our teams on the ground and all of the political parties, the major political parties, that the majority of candidates have officially nominated today. There was some drama, of course, Shanique, concerning who shouldn't nominate and who should be in the room and who haven't declared. But I think for the most part, we got a lot of those concerns addressed. This, of course, is another step in the road to May 12, 2026. We hope you enjoyed our coverage today. Your voice, your vote, your choice, Nomination Day 2026. It's just a preview of what we plan to bring to you on May 12th. We thank you for making Eyewitness News, ILTV Studios, your choice to watch on Nomination Day and Election Day. No other station does it like us. Shanique?
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure sitting here with you, Janaea, and of course, helping to cover the Nomination Day with our team all over the Bahamas, doing an incredible job. We hope to see you at 7 o'clock this evening and again at 8 o'clock this evening as well, right here on Eyewitness News.
Special thanks to all our teams in the island, our production teams, our digital teams, everyone keeping you up to date. We do it again on May 12th. Stay tuned, a show you don't want to miss. Once again, I'm Janaea Noel, joined by Shanique Miller. Thank you so much for joining us. We're signing off.